Hey, yo, Internet, this portion of the Combat Jack Show is sponsored by you know who. Stop playing around. It's Bevel, the superior shaving system designed for people with coarse, curly hair and sensitive skin. Yo, what up, Tristan Walker? Tristan Walker is doing so many amazing things right now, particularly for Black History Month. Bevel is now available in Target stores. He's about to drop the trimmer. He's making so much news right now. Walker & Associates is on fire. And I'm just so proud to be affiliated with such a strong young black man, such a strong company, and such a strong product. I've been fucking with Bevel right now for 2 years, no problems. I shaved with it just the other day. My face feels like baby bottom. Go to getbevel.com, punch in promo code COMBAT, COMBAT, for 20% off your initial purchases. That's getbevel.com, promo code COMBAT. Tell them Combat sent you. And now back to the show.
Get ready for combat.
No escaping.
Get ready for combat. Get ready for combat.
Yeah. The Combat Jack Radio Show. Stand up.
Hey, yo, Internet, so you're tuned into the Combat Jack Show. CombatJackShow.com. Is that the right address, man? Is the website up now, Combat Jack Show? We've been getting kind of some complaints, man, that it looks like a website for autistic kids, man. I looked at the website. It was real simple. I kind of like it. I got to get used to it, but I only saw the last. What's going on with that, man? Is that beta?
No, you want to get on the mic, man? Come on the mic.
It's going to get updated.
It's going to get updated. So shouldn't that be like behind a wall before we present the website?
It's going to grow as we
Here you
progress.
King, it's cool.
It's going to grow as we
put your mouth
progress.
on.
Yo, King, chill.
What?
Okay, Mena, you saying what now?
It's going to grow as we progress through the weeks.
Okay.
So more is going to get added to it.
So we put out some mediocre shit right now. Not taking away not taking away anything of the work you've done.
Right.
But we put out some mediocre shit right now, asking our audience to be patient with us, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Internets, you heard that. Jonathan Mena. Send all your complaints to Jonathan Mena on Twitter. What's your email?
No, I'm not giving you my email.
You're not giving us our email? So all of the issues we have right now, I listen, Internets. Without Jonathan Mena, at this point, there is no Combat Jack Show. He is the fucking nail that keeps the shit together. But at the same time, when the shit starts leaking, it's Jonathan Mena's fault. It costs to be the boss. So send all your complaints to Jonathan Mena on Twitter, and just let's get this shit right. You know what I'm saying? But finally, it's CombatJackShow.com. What's up, A-King?
How you doing, sir?
Yo, man, with all this miscellaneous, like, let me talk to this
hype,
nigga.
man. My
Don't be
bad.
hype. Let me talk to this man.
All right, my bad.
All right?
My bad.
Come on, man.
CombatJackShow.com.
Yo, listen, Internets, man, I'm so happy to have today's guest on the show. I first started hearing about him when I was a young kid in the streets of Brooklyn, Crown Heights section of Brooklyn, to be specific, when being in this music industry was nowhere even possible. Like, it was the stuff of Michael Jackson and Stevie Wonder and Elton John and you know what I'm saying? So when I went in 1977, over 78, you know I'm an old cat, when my friends started telling me, yo, there's some cats up the block, man. Their name is Full Force, man. They hot. They got it all together, man. They sing and rap and dance and they do everything. I was like, man, stop playing, man. Ain't nobody from Crown Heights gonna do nothing big. And then years later, man, like songwriting, hits, Hollywood,
Breaking
plaques
artists.
upon plaques upon plaques, stacks upon stacks upon stacks. Internets, without further ado, we bring to the Combat Jack Show the legendary Bowlegged Lou of Full Force. What's up, sir?
What's up, man?
Yo, what's up, man? How rich are you, man?
Please.
How much money you got, man?
I'm not rich.
You pay the IRS?
Full Force is 6 members. You have Baby Jerry, Kurt, Shy, Be Fine, my beloved brother, the cancer champion, Paul Anthony,
Yes.
and myself.
Yes.
That's 6 motherfuckers.
But you the boss. You the boss.
No, I'm not the boss.
You you're the eldest.
I'm definitely the eldest.
Right.
But we're all together. But, you know, we split things 6 ways
Right.
for our whole career.
But when you selling hundreds of millions of records, 6 ways, man. Nigga, split that 50 ways. It don't matter. Stop playing, man. You have are you in debt?
The music industry is fucked up right now. So, you know, bottom line. I mean, we're still good because we have our publishing.
So
Thank
you're not.
God for that.
Are you in debt?
Well, we're all in debt.
No.
We're all in debt. I mean, you got mortgages to pay. You still paying your credit cards.
That's true.
So everybody's still in debt. You know, they make
true.
They make a big joke about Kanye West and the
53
money.
million.
But we're all like
There's
that.
one person that's been on this show
We're all in debt.
that said he's not in debt at all.
Who said that?
Milk D. Just off that one record. Remember he said that just off,
did.
and he just off that what's it?
If Milk,
the most sampled hip hop record.
Listen, Milk
yes, sir.
D. If Milk D is paying mortgage, if Milk D's paying mortgage and bills and all that, he's in debt.
I think he built his
like
house.
all of us.
I think
You
he
think
built
so?
his house with his own hands, man.
We're out of milk cartons.
Yo, Bowlegged Lou, man.
I like Milk D though.
You sitting here on
He's
the
a good
Combat
brother.
Jack show, man.
Yo, man, I wanted to get on the show, man.
You were on the show.
My nephew, C-Biz, told me so much about your show that I looked into it myself. I'm like, oh, this motherfucker is the shit.
I appreciate
so
that,
I definitely
man.
want to be. It took me a while to get here because y'all was too busy with other
we had
more
Snow.
important gifts.
We had Snow on the show.
And you had LaToya Jackson
We had
and shit like that.
Rebe
Jackson.
You know what I'm saying?
and the adopted daughter, Maureen Jackson.
Yo, no, we had Blanket on. Yo, Bo, man, welcome to the show, man.
Yo, man, very good to be here,
We got
man.
Brooklyn in the building, right?
Yes, indeed.
You're from the Crown Heights section of Brooklyn, correct?
Yeah, we're from East. We made our bones in East Flatbush, but we used to live on Kingston Avenue, Bergen and Dean, which
Jesus.
is Crown Heights Affair.
Jesus.
And that's where we saw. You remember Crown Heights Affair? Dreaming a Dream. And we used to play with them. They used to be like our band back in the day when it was just me and my two brothers back singing with them. And then when we broke up, they went on and made it, and we was like jealous and shit. I'm like, damn, Crown Heights Affair made it before us. But then we got together with our cousins, became full force, and then we just started gigging in Brooklyn, and we started getting a name for ourselves in the neighborhood. You know, there was this place in Brooklyn on Eastern Parkway called Club Ecstasy, which to us was like Radio
shot.
City Music Hall, because all the big groups from Freddie Jackson, Evelyn Champagne King, GQ, Eddie Kendricks, everybody would play Club Ecstasy. And I'm
They
like,
let
one
off
of
some
these days,
gunshots in there too, man.
a lot of times. I mean,
Booyaka
it was
shot.
crazy. It
Yeah.
was crazy. And I said, one of these days, we're going to have posters and shit. We made our own posters because I was working at a jewelry store at the time in Manhattan and making some good money. And then we started making posters, and we convinced them to give us a shot, even though we was an unknown group. And we plastered the posters. We had bullhorns, Full Force's back, even though we never
Niggas
went
like,
any
who's
damn
Full
place.
Force? We didn't know
Exactly.
Full- like,
who the hell are
they
them?
back?
But when we went to Ecstasy, the line was around the corner, man. And we killed the show. We killed the show. It
Lou,
was
let's
so
go
dope.
back to your musical roots, man.
All right.
Where does that come from?
Well, my father is the one that got us into singing. My mom's was there, and all of our parents basically. But my father, we used to sing with a lot of these groups, with Criterions and the Persuaders and all these groups. And we
Like
used
the
to
doo-wop groups?
doo-wop groups,
Right.
yeah, the harmonies,
From the
acapellas.
60s and the early 70s.
Exactly, and we used to see them. We used to see him in the groups, practice all the time and perform. And one day, he heard my brother singing, Paul, because Paul was the first one. He started singing, and then he said, "Oh my God, he's got a voice." And when Paul started singing, my father paid a lot of attention to him. And then after that, then I said, I want to sing too, and found out I had a voice, developed a voice. So we practiced, and then he forced my other brother, B Fine, who's one of the brothers, of course, in House Party. We're the Full Force brothers, and we had to force him to sing. You know, my father would beat his ass to practice and everything like that.
So he was like a Brooklyn Joe Jackson with y'all. in a sense.
Right, but not that bad though. But he was very stern.
Right.
And it was just the three brothers, and that's how we started performing. And we started performing in the neighborhood, and for money. And then
What did you guys play? I'm sorry to interrupt you, man.
we just was vocalists.
Vocalists.
Just the vocalists. And we used to have backup bands
Okay.
perform us in the beginning, just the
Right.
three of us. And then we played. That's when we started playing a lot of neighborhood shows. When we was doing the neighborhood shows, we was competing against other groups
Neighborhood
from
cats.
Harlem, like
Right.
Keith Sweat.
Like who was at the time?
Jamila and Keith Sweat.
Teddy
Jamila.
Riley.
Teddy Riley had his thing, and we all knew about
Johnny
it.
Kemp.
Johnny Kemp, may he rest in peace, beautiful brother too.
But they weren't stars yet either.
No, we were all in a melting pot, man. It was crazy.
This
back
is like
then.
the late 70s, early 80s.
Late 70s, early
Wow, Teddy
80s,
Riley
man.
in the 70s.
Yeah, with the bands and everything. Don't got bands no more. So it was great. And before that, the three of us, we played the Apollo Theater, the amateur hour. A lot of times people think Showtime at the Apollo, that's when the first amateur hour. But amateur hour at the Apollo Theater began in the 40s and
Yes.
the 30s. Every Wednesday, they would have the amateur hour, and you'd compete, and whoever won first place, you had to come back. And if you win 4 weeks in a row, then you'd appear on the professional show. And we sang a song called Cloud 9 by one of my favorite groups in the world, the Temptations. And we won 4 times in a row. It was just 3. We were like little kids, and we was.
How old were y'all, man?
We were doing steps and everything.
How old were y'all?
My brother B was like, got to be 6 years old.
6?
Yeah, I was 8. I was 9. Paul was 8.
So y'all are killing cats.
Yeah,
At the
when we was
Apollo.
little. And we saw the Jackson 5 perform before they even had a record deal.
So y'all were even too young to even understand what stage fright was.
Right, we wasn't nervous at all. We was just killing it.
That's crazy.
And we used to see, and being that we were so young, and my aunts, my uncles, and my father, all of my father's side, they used to take us to the Apollo Theater to see these big shows all the time, with all these big legends from Stevie Wonder to Diana Ross
To the Jackson 5.
Jackson 5, Unifix, groups y'all probably never heard of before, but we was immersed in all of that, And when we won 4 weeks in a row, usually you had to wait for like 2 months before you appear on a professional show.
Right.
But the legendary Joe Tex was in the wings, and he said, I would like them to be on my show, which I'm going to be doing next week. So my father said, okay, no problem. And we appeared on the professional show like the very next week with Joe Tex and the legendary Whispers, who performed for their first time at the Apollo
What was the
Theater.
song they performed at the time?
It was called Seems Like I Gotta Do Wrong.
Okay.
Seems like I gotta do wrong, gotta do wrong, gotta do wrong before they notice me. They were so dope. They only did 2 songs a night. Spinning Wheel and that song, the twins, Nicholas Caldwell, who was the tallest brother, he passed away. May he rest in peace. And we, as little guys, we used to bother them a lot, knocking on the door, because we want them to show us some steps. And we were pains in the asses to them. And so as we grew up and we became full force, and when we reconnected with the Whispers, we asked them, did they remember, when was y'all first time playing the Apollo Theater? Who's the headliner? Oh, Joe Tex. Do y'all remember 3 guys, little guys that used to knock on your dressing room door and bother y'all all the time? Yeah, that was y'all.
That's crazy.
That was us.
That's crazy.
So
Lou, let me ask you, man, what was, as you're doing these shows, man, like, I grew up in Crown Heights, and we're talking about right before like the advent of the crack epidemic and the whole 9.
Right.
But how was the neighborhood back then, man?
Well, to us, the neighborhood, we knew crime and stuff was going on, but we were just having fun. We used to be just young kids on the streets playing skelly and playing softball, because softball was our favorite sport a long time. So we were just neighborhood kids, grimy and stuff like that. But
so it was still like an innocent kind of like working class type of environment, back then.
Exactly.
And y'all were fortunate enough to be steered into music. Now, how did y'all get to full force? Because I understand your original name was the Amplifiers.
Right, the Amplifiers. And what happened is
that's not really a good name, man.
I know, but that was back then. But back then, nobody gave a shit because we were cute. What's your name? The Amplifiers. Y'all so cute.
Amplified.
What's your name? The Slippers. Y'all so cute. It didn't matter.
Right.
The clothespins. Oh. But anyway, what happens is that we was rocking it, and then what happens is that my brother B-Fine started steering away because he didn't really like the singing too much. So he got into the drums.
Right.
And then what happens is that when we moved to Lenox Road out there in Schenectady, he got together with our cousins who was playing lead guitar, bass guitar, keyboards, Baby Jerry keyboards, bass, Shy keyboards, lead guitar, Kurt, and B on drums. And so they was an entity to themselves.
Right.
Me and Paul was still singing because we would be singing with other bands and stuff like that. And then I one time went to a show to see my brother on drums with my cousins at Meyer 11. No, it was Winthrop Junior High School. And they were playing, and girls were screaming and everything like that. And they were pretty good. And I told Paul, I said, you know what? Maybe we, instead of always being fronted by other bands, maybe we emerge ourselves with them. And that's what we did. And I remember when we told B, I said, B, me and Paul come with y'all, and let's see if we could take it to the next level. And my brother B-Fine was so excited. Lou, Paul, oh man, I love y'all. And that's what we did. We emerged with them. Me and Paul became the lead singers. Full Force was born. And I remember as a kid knowing that was a dope name. Yeah.
Where did that name come from, man? Was it from like Japanese animation? Or?
No. I came up with that name only because our live stage show was always Full Force.
Right.
It was crazy.
Right.
And we were the first cats like bringing the whole bodybuilding physique thing into the world of like R&B music, really. My brother Paul Anthony led that way, and everybody in the neighborhood used to work out like him. And on our shows, he used to strip. He did a striptease act, and It was ridiculous.
Let me ask you something, man, because I remember growing up with brothers back in the set. It was right after the Arnold Schwarzenegger Pumping Iron documentary.
Right.
And then you had all these brothers in the neighborhood that just started getting diesel.
Yeah.
And then they went from being diesel. I remember back then, see, I was still kind of younger than them, but I just remember a lot of those cats that were on our block lifting and bodybuilding, they all went into like the stripping business, like the male stripping business. And it seems like back then, that was another avenue for brothers to get into.
That's true.
Right.
That's true.
And you got and Paul brought that kind of
that mentality to
Right.
the stage. He wasn't a stripper, but we would say, you know, Paul Anthony, how would everybody like to see Paul Anthony take it off? Girls would go crazy, and he'd take it off, and then after that we go, all right, how many of y'all want to see Paul? Okay, you ready? Everybody say, pull it down, pull it down. And Paul would start to do his strip shit, pull it down, start posing. People went crazy. I'll never forget when Jamie Foxx, when he was in Living Color, he told us when he was young, he saw us perform in Dallas, and he just started doing our steps from back then on the Fresh tours, because we was on the Fresh tours.
That's crazy.
And, it was ridiculous, man. I mean,
how exciting and annoying is it though that you got girls screaming, but while you're doing your routines, they grabbing on your peen, man.
it was something.
They was grabbing on the peen, right?
They were grabbing on the shit, and they was reaching out and they were throwing shit at us, and we're like, wow. And then they knew our names, Paul Anthony, because we made it always a conscious effort to throw our names and crazy names in there, and it was overwhelming, man.
Yeah.
We didn't know it was crazy when we were full force and we started doing shows. You know, our first concert stuff was with Lisa, who we discovered, of course.
Of course.
And
well,
we
we're
went
about
on
to
tour
step
with her.
back for a second.
Okay.
Let's step back for a second, man. You got full force. You guys are now the full team. The Cousins is still a family affair.
Right.
You're doing your shows. You're honing your skills. You had seen cats like Crown Heights Affair get deals, so you knew that the deals in the music industry was real, right?
Right. Success.
But you guys weren't getting any deals. You guys were like the original Jay-Z in that nobody wanted to give you a deal. Is that correct?
Right.
Why is that?
I don't know, man. It was just hard, and
They didn't think y'all was handsome back then.
no, I don't know.
Y'all didn't have that Jerry curl that back. Did y'all have?
Yeah, we had.
The Jerry curl was scaring them deals away, B.
We was into the Jerry curl.
Yeah.
I mean, and you know, so dope. Even though we had Jerry curls, I'll never forget Fat Man Scoop coming to us and going, "Yo, man, let me tell you something. Even though y'all had Jerry curls and stuff like that, not even the hardest niggas would step to y'all with any disrespect." And it's true, because we'd be on the Fresh Fest tours and we just had the ultimate respect from like everybody. Back then we didn't smoke, none of that. And they just gave us total respect from Run to LL to all of them.
But what's crazy is there was a slice of time. I remember once again going, y'all. This is taking me back to my childhood so quickly, man. There was a slice of time when I want to say it was like maybe 6 months when the Jerry curl was popping in Brooklyn.
Yeah, it was great.
The Jerry curl was popping in Brooklyn.
It was over popping.
It was cats had the little white bottle of activator.
You had to go get the shit done, and then sometimes you put too much in it, it starts burning you. Oh shit! You know, it was crazy. The activator was ridiculous. The
maintenance,
the caps, and when you're having sex with your girl,
when you're dancing, all that splashing around.
It was crazy.
But why did y'all keep it, man? What made y'all keep it?
Well, we kept it for a while. I think I was one of the first ones to start it staring back after, but we kept it because everybody was wearing it at the time. And then and that's what got us even more popular, because not only like doing the physique things and the physical fitness thing, but we had Jerry curls. There was no niggas at the time with the physical fitness, and Jerry curls actually pushing it. You know what I mean? And my brother Paul led the way with that, you know.
And I think that was smart, because even though back then New York was still the center of the music industry, y'all looked like y'all could have been from Texas.
Right.
Y'all looked like y'all could have been from Virginia,
LA, California.
So I think the access you guys had in different markets, on top of the hits,
Right.
the appearance opened up the doors for you guys, man.
Yeah. I remember one time in Living Color, they did a skit.
Oh, they used to roast y'all, man.
And Keenan Ivory Wayans, that
used
nigga.
to roast you,
I'm
man.
like, he must really like Full Force, because he himself used to diss us on his TV shows, make fun, and it was ridiculous. But in Living Color with Jim Carrey and Tommy Davidson in a wheelchair, it was the Jerry Curl Telethon.
Okay.
And they said, so many people has been inflicted by the dreaded Jerry Curl disease. Such public figures as full force. And then they show our picture on there with our dripping Jerry curls and stuff like that. I think they even added more magic marker to it. And it was crazy. Everybody's laughing. And I'll never forget, we was in L.A. and we all heard about it. And Shy heard about it. He's like, yo, man. He didn't even want to walk out because he said, yo, they dissing us. I thought it was hilarious.
You knew that all publicity was good publicity.
Oh, you kid? Of course, man.
That's amazing. So once again, man, so you guys are struggling.
Right.
You guys are honing your craft. People locally know you guys as full force, but you guys can't get a deal.
Right.
Somebody stepped to you and said, listen, you guys are so talented. Why don't you write and produce for other people?
Right. So
and you guys were like, nah, we don't want to do that, right?
Mostly me.
Right.
But the bottom line, it was our co-manager who's up in heaven, goes by the name of Steve Salem.
Steve Salem, what up? Rest in peace.
Me and Steve went to college together.
Okay.
He was a behavioral science. He was at Kingsborough Community College 2 years, and then I went Brooklyn 2 years. But Steve was just into behavioral science, and I told him, I said, yo, Steve, come see us perform. And he came to see us at Club Ecstasy. And he was a smart mind, white boy in the college. And I always admired him. And he admired me. Sometimes he'd just sit in front of me and says, yo, Lou, man, just make me laugh, man. Just make me laugh. I'll never forget that. When Steve came to our shows, he once we left Kingsborough, he booked us at I forgot the college he went to. Damn, but Gil Scott-Heron was headlining, and we was able to perform and open up for Gil Scott-Heron because Steve Salem made that happen. After a while, we started making demos on tape cassettes, and we was trying to pitch them out to hand them in. Sometimes we would go to meetings and bogart the meetings just so people could hear us. I remember we used to bother Nile Rodgers. A lot.
Who I'm really trying to get on the show right now. I'm really trying.
We'll probably make that happen for you. And we used to bother him a lot just to try to get a meeting to see if he'd get us a deal. One time we stumbled in on a big argument thing.
Chic Productions? Was it?
Yeah, Chic Productions. And him and Bernard Edwards, may he rest in peace, they were having a big argument with Sister Sledge at one time.
Wow.
I refused to work with an artist that have an attitude. I'll never forget when Nile Rodgers was saying that.
Internets, this portion of the Combat Jack Show is brought to you by Bevel, the superior shaving system designed for people with coarse, curly hair and sensitive skin. Designed by Tristan Walker. This is a one-blade shaver, 2 sides. It's precision. It's so nice and classy. If you haven't yet seen the box, then you're a goddamn troglodyte hiding in a cave, because Bevel is everywhere right now. Almost every podcast is out there doing Bevel ads. I see y'all. And I love it because I am the Bevel Lord. Combat Jack. I love Bevel. I just gave my son, when he was going to college, a Bevel. I gave my brother-in-law one for Christmas. I tell all my women relatives, please, I'll give you the promo code. I can't give all of y'all a free box. I know Tristan, if he could send me boxes, but I can't give you all a free box. But I tell everybody, if you have a loved one that shaves and that has had trouble shaving, or if you have young ones that are about to start shaving, don't let them go through the trauma of colonization and all the pain that comes with that savagery. Savage shaving, 5, 6, 8 blades. What the fuck is that? Shave with one blade, yo. Single blade. Shave like a man. Shave proud. You know what I'm saying? It's Black History Month, man. Respect your ancestors. Carry on tradition, man. You know what I'm saying? Back in the days, look at those black and white pictures. None of those black men had bumps on their noses and faces. Like, what the fuck is that? Technology? Don't believe in all this sorcery and wickedness. Go to getbevel.com, punch in promo code COMBAT, COMBAT, for 20% off your purchases. You know I fucks with y'all, and I know y'all fucks with me. Go to getbevel.com, promo code COMBAT. Tell them Combat sent you. And now back to the show.
What happened is that Steve noticed that we weren't getting any deals. Our cassettes was being returned. We didn't know later that a lot of them was in a bag because my mother used to hide the rejections from us.
She was protecting you guys.
Yeah. And then Steve said, guys, you know what I think we should do? I think let's don't concentrate on Full Force, the group. Let's write and produce for like other people. And something just tells me that I think maybe you guys will get a record deal of your own.
Which makes a lot of sense, because that's how a lot of people in the music industry get on. Yeah, but y'all were like, fuck that.
But I was like, fuck that.
This is
I just care about Full Force.
Right.
Full Force, don't tell me what to do. But I was outvoted by everybody else. But see, at that time, there was no group, there was no black group or white group producing and writing for anybody.
Right.
Like nobody.
Right.
You had one people maybe producing, Prince produced, Babyface, who came after us actually.
Babyface came after you guys.
Yeah, he came after
with Janet and Control.
Yeah,
that was
way after us. Because we started that. They used to look up to us. And I'll never forget when Terry and Jimmy, when we came out, when we produced a song called Alice, I Want You Just For Me, for us, Terry and Jimmy loved us and said we were their favorite group, and they used to come to our shows and everything like that. But before that, once we decided to write and produce for other people, the first mainstream artist was Curtis Blow.
Was this for his first album?
This was, I think, on Ego Trippin'.
Okay.
It was
Daydreaming. What was the record?
We did Party Time.
Okay.
Party Time. Whoa, it's party time. We're having a party. And somebody else came and kind of redid that. I forgot. It was Lee or some rapper. Forgive me. But
wow, y'all were on that Curtis Blow record.
That was a
big record.
And then before that, though, we co-wrote.
Was that the one with I Rule the World? If I Rule the World. That was a crazy record.
Also on that album, which Full Force co-wrote and played on, was Basketball.
So you co-wrote
Basketball.
Did you guys still get your credits?
Yeah. Are you kidding? Of course.
Are you serious?
We're still getting checks.
You wrote Basketball?
Co-wrote.
You don't know anything about no debt, my dude. You don't know no debt, man.
I'm still paying mortgage.
You wrote
debt.
They play that Basketball everywhere. My kids know that record.
I know. There's 8 people on that record that wrote on there, so we had a certain percentage of it.
Like I said, man, eight people on 100 million is amazing, man. So that was so you get some hits.
So we get some hits with Curtis Blow. Now let me tell you something about Curtis. Let me just be honest. Kurt, who we still love today, Minister Curtis.
Yes.
That brother, even though we was an unknown group, Robert Ford and J.B. Moore, they're the ones that they were our co-producers, but they're the ones that brought us to work with Curtis Blow. Even though we was just new group, Curtis was so dope. Down to earth. We even wrote a song for him called Under Fire. We even wrote the raps, and he's like still did it. He just respected us, and we were like, wow, Curtis Blow. And we always give him props,
That's
man,
crazy.
all the time.
So how did Curtis Blow lead to UTFO?
Well, after Curtis Blow, and even we went on tour with Curtis as well. After that,
who was on that tour? I'm sorry, who was on that tour with you and Curtis
Rick
Blow?
James, Mary Jane Girls, Midnight Star, New Edition.
Holy shit!
I have such a funny story. I don't know if Kurt would be pissed if I ever told the story.
He don't listen to the show, man. He don't listen to secular shit anymore.
But here's the thing with that show, right? This was when New Edition was first coming out with Candy Girl. We was backing up Curtis Blow. We was like Jerry was on keyboards. Me and Paul did background vocals for the show. So we were like, that was our first time taking a plane. And what happened was that they told Curtis that he's going to open up. He's like, what?
What?
Opening up? He said, yeah. And then after you, then New Edition. He said, what? No, they got to open up. And it was like a big argument and everything like that with the promoters. The promoters wanted Kurt to open up. And he said, no, man, they better have some respect. And New Edition, they're supposed to open up. They're just new. But it never happened. So
it was
so we were trying to, so Kurt was trying to just stay in the dressing room and let's not even perform. But then we just said, what the heck? Kurt was like, all right, let's just do a show. But they got to have respect. So what he did, oh man, he led us in a chant. From the dressing room, he led us in a chant. All right, man, we're going to go past the dressing room and we're going to say, punk motherfuckers from Boston. Punk motherfuckers from Boston. Now us, we're like, but we like New Edition.
Everybody like New Edition.
But we're with Kurt and them, so here we were. Punk motherfuckers from Boston. Punk motherfuckers from Boston. And we did it as we walked past the dressing room. New Edition, they didn't know what was going on. They were kids. They didn't know what was going on. They didn't know that Kurt was mad at them. And it wasn't them, but the management. Because Kurt felt they should have opened up because Kurt was rocking anyway before them. But that was so funny back then.
But Lou, it was also the industry mindset. Like I hear so many stories about how all these venues didn't want to showcase hip hop. They wanted to, because still hip hop was still brand new, and it was still a very undesirable genre. So I hear so many stories about how New Edition in particular opened up a lot of doors for a lot of rappers. I even remember how they opened up the doors for like Jam Master Jay and Run DMC, because everybody had to open up for New Edition because rap was like second place.
New Edition loved UTFO when we came. Just to step real quick with UTFO, my brother B Fine, he's the one that kind of assembled them. Kango Kid, he was like the first one. and Kango, they used to be break dancers, and used to be break dancers on some of our shows. And Kango kind of told B about Doc, about Educated Rapper. Kango kind of brought everybody in and made them UTFO.
Right. Now, was Herbie Lovebug involved in this at all?
No, not with UTFO.
Okay, cool.
Not with UTFO. Right. And so they became the group UTFO, and Steve Salem, we got a deal at Select Records at the time. Them. Right, for UTFO. Right. And that was our first big production.
Right.
Our first big production was Roxanne, Roxanne.
Wow.
Which was a B-side.
Right.
Of this song called Hanging Out,
right.
which is what we thought was the first single.
Right.
And what should have been the first single, Hanging Out. That's what we felt. But what happened is that my brother B woke up one morning and said, I wanted to just do a B-side to that song. And B came up with the whole concept of Roxanne. And it'll be like the three of them, Educated Rapper, Dr. Ice, and Kango, is fighting for this one girl. And at the end of the day, nobody gets the girl.
Right.
That was my brother B Fine's whole concept. We were singing in the backgrounds because we sang on all their records from Fairy Tale Lover to everything.
Roxanne.
Yeah, that was us. And that song, which was just a B-side, one day we're hearing it like in New York.
On rap radio.
Red Alert was the first one to break that record. Yes. And we called him up. Yo, Red, don't play that.
You're playing the wrong side.
You got to play Hanging Out. What are you talking about? No. Well, I like the B-side. No. That's the B-side. That's why it's called the B-side, Red. Play the A-side. No. The B-side is the A-side to me. We got into it a little bit with him. But I like the B-side.
Really? Y'all got
like
into
the
it.
B-side.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was a fucking undeniable hit.
And the B-side is what did it. The rest is history.
That was a big
it was huge. It was huge.
Did you have any inkling that record was going to be that huge?
No, because it was just a B-side. But my brother B just said, let's do it. And those are one of those things that just happened. And after that became huge, here comes a little brat.
Roxanne Shante.
Doing Roxanne's Revenge.
With Marley Marl.
And they didn't have the chutzpah to create their own track. They just grabbed our track from our record. You can still hear the static in the record. And they did Roxanne's Revenge.
Man, those were the beautiful days of sampling.
Tracks.
Those were the beautiful days of sampling where you could get away with that shit. So then Roxanne comes out, and then it's like the floodgates open. They probably were like 25.
25. Sparky D came out with Sparky's Turn, defending UTFO, and big ups to Sparky D because she's now also an apostle, a minister.
Right.
And her and Curtis Blow actually presided over Kango Kid's new baby girl.
Wow.
Because Kango's still having kids.
Right.
He's Benjamin Buttons. And what happened is that we had so many Roxanne's Dance, Roxanne's Doctor,
Roxanne's
Ralph
Groove.
Roll, who's a drummer now. He did a Roxanne's a Man. Yeah, Ralph. Ralph was just on the Grammys playing that whole David Bowie tribute.
Yes.
God bless Ralph. But he did Roxanne's a Man, and it was like 25 answers back then. It was crazy.
And then, but you guys had the foresight because in the original Roxanne video, there was this beautiful Latina chick that was playing Roxanne.
What happened is that when people was doing these answer back records, we said, yo, we better jump on our own bandwagons.
Right.
And that's when we came out with the real Roxanne. And me and my brother B wrote that record, wrote the raps to that in our living room. And let me step back. The original real Roxanne went by the name of a young lady named Elise Jack. Mm-hmm. She was the original real Roxanne. She's the one that's on that record.
Right.
Yo, Kango, I'm the real Roxanne and I rock your world. That was her.
The original.
Right. And after that, we got Joanne because we had like a falling out.
Joanne was so bad.
Yeah, and then we brought Joanne as the real Roxanne to take that spot
in the video.
And then Joanne was making records too. She did a dope record called Let's Go, and that was top 10 in England and Europe, all over.
I remember that.
But Joanne was such a fine girl, and Paul met her. She was a waitress, and then Paul said she got a good look. Because see, back in those days, nobody was doing female rappers to look like feminine. Not really.
Roxanne Shante was.
Yeah, they had even Salt and Pepper. They was with the Dookie Chains. We kind of was the first ones to usher in the female, feminists, because Joanne was so fine, and even the original Roxanne. And that's when everybody started tapping into the female stuff.
See, this is how old I am. The very first rap show I ever went to. Mm-hmm. was featuring the real Roxanne and the Inspector Gadget guys.
Right.
And I was like, yo, for somebody I was just starstruck when she walked in the club.
Oh,
She
yeah.
was bad, man.
Yeah, and she still is bad
Is
too.
she still? What's she doing right now?
She's still looking great. I know her daughter. She's I think she's still doing music here and there, but she's still looking great. And,
How do you for real, man? Like, how do y'all work with all these beautiful women? Like, who's smelling it, man? Who's smelling it?
Well, you know, our rule is not only never kiss and tell, but you don't get involved with like your artists and anything like that.
So nobody ever broke code and smelled it, man?
Nah.
Lisa.
Ever?
Lisa.
Well, let's get to Lisa. So Lou, man, like you said, man, I remember back then, man, like the women that were representing rap, and this is no shots to them, they weren't cute, and you guys came up with the first attractive female rapper.
I wouldn't say they weren't cute.
They weren't cute. Who was cute?
No, Salt and Pepper, they were cute. They were cute, but they still did the Dookie chains and more.
But Salt and Pepper came out after Roxanne, if I remember correctly.
Right, they came after her.
They came after.
But even Roxanne was cute. She wasn't ugly, you know what I mean? But they were still portraying like the male scenario thing.
Yes,
Sweet Tea, all of them. But they were still
Sweet Tea was bad. I had a crush on Sweet Tea.
Yeah, but we brought the whole sex symbol type things. And when we did it with Joanne, it was ridiculous. And then after the UTFO, Real Roxanne situation, that's when my brother B-Fine spearheaded a song called I Wonder If I Take You Home.
Yes, you wrote that.
The song was already written. The song was done. Him and Kurt helped out as well. And then before you know, we was just auditioning girls but my brother B-Fine always wanted a Spanish girl.
When a Latina. Why?
From the jump. Because he always felt that was untapped at that time.
The Latino market?
The Latino market as far as doing R&B and hip-hop, and that's what we wanted. Now, even though they wanted a Latino, I knew there was another young lady around that was a dear friend of mine named Cheryl Pepsi Riley. So I was sneaking the song.
Oh, she was supposed to be the...
Well, not supposed to be. As far as
you wanted her to be.
I wanted her to be, because I fell in love with Cheryl Pepsi Riley when we started working with each other on Fulton Street doing a church play, and she could sing a behind off. So I let her hear the demo of I Wonder If I Take You Home, because I wanted her to record it, and then I would bring it to the fellas and try to dispel the whole don't look for no Puerto Rican or Spanish girls. But she and it's two different stories. She claims that she had a group at the time. I thought when she heard the song, she didn't really like the song that much, Take You Home. So that's why I said, okay, whatever. And then that's when we auditioned girls. And when Lisa walked in, Michael Hughes.
Oh, my God.
Michael Hughes, who was who used to work with us, hanging up posters and everything like that, he became a member of Cult Jam. He was the one that played the drums. And he's the one that brought Lisa to us for a tryout. He found her in the Fun House, the club
she
back
was
then.
dancing in the Fun House?
Right.
Them bazungas.
And he brought her.
Had on some tiggle bitties.
It was ridiculous. When he brought her, and she was like, what, 16 or 17 years old?
You saw her, you was like, all of y'all was like, who's going to smell it first?
No, we didn't do that. We didn't do that. But one thing about her, she was fine.
Right.
And we was hoping that she would be able to sing and be able to do this record. But what happened is that she was singing songs, unknown songs, and they just sounded horrible. And I remember laughing till I cried. I'm like, oh, she's not going to make it work. But what happened is that she was singing songs that Mike Hughes wrote for her to do. And she was doing it a cappella, and they were just horrendous. And then before we were going about to dismiss her, my brother Paul said, wait a minute, before you leave, Lisa, can you sing something that's more familiar, something that we might have heard of before? And then she sang For Your Eyes Only, which was a song done years ago by Sheena Easton. And she sung it beautiful. That's when we knew
that was a James Bond record, was it?
Right, exactly.
Wow.
And we knew then it wasn't her, but it was Mike Hughes' crappy songs. When we loved her, and Mike Hughes knew we loved her, Mike Hughes came to us, guys, I'm thinking if y'all like her, like maybe we could make it a group, and I'll be a drummer, and I can get Al, who's Spanish, the guitar player, and we can make it like Cult, and we'll be Cult Jam. And because we came up with the name Lisa Lisa, I think Steve Salem, may he rest in peace, how about Lisa Lisa? And then B-Fine said, yeah, Lisa Lisa. And then we brought them together, Lisa Little Cult Jam. Now, here's the deal, though. They did a TV Ones Unsung, and we did a TV Ones Unsung, and they kind of like Spanador kind of complained a little bit, and they said that it was a mix-up because when we came out with the first record, first album, first song, it was called Lisa Lisa and Cult Jam with
Full Force.
Full Force.
Right.
And this is before Full Force had a record deal.
Right.
But my thing is that, yeah, we're going to do that to try to get put on. At that time, no producers was really pushing themselves. We started doing that shit. And then Puff Daddy took it to a whole nother level. But we said, with Full Force, because
you got to promote yourself. You guys,
right.
you guys were an amateur.
So when we heard on a song later, Spanador
was talking that shit.
Well, he said, yeah, man, people got mixed up, and it's not me saying that. People said, is Cult Jam part of it, or is Full Force, Cult Jam? And I think one of the other.
He can't even be mad though, because what kind of name is Spanador?
No, Spanador is a good name. Spanador is a great name, but what they didn't know was marketing. We was like ahead of our time with that.
Right.
So we knew what we was doing. And plus, listen, we played mostly all the music on the albums. Right. We wrote the songs. So we felt, let's put ourselves in that spotlight just for the first album. We even put ourselves in the damn video. You better believe that shit. Now, just for the first single and for the first album. Lisa's coming with Full Force.
Now, as songwriters and producers, talk about how you guys are improving and your confidence level in terms of that craft and how you start appreciating that side of the business, the writing and the publishing side.
Right. And I got to admit, I was kind of wrong in the beginning. My brothers and my cousins, they always loved that idea. But after I Wonder If I Take You Home, we were still rocking with UTFO, because they came out with some hits too, Leader of the Pack, and they had an album out that was called Lethal, which was like #2, right underneath Michael Jackson's album Bad, and they was on tour like with New Edition. New Edition loved UTFO.
Everybody went on
put
tour
them
with
on their tour, and it was UTFO and New Edition, and they were killing. Big shout out to Mike Bivens, my boy, and then we started appreciating the writing, and then we started writing.
And then
not only
getting those checks,
right? Because even though there was 6 of us,
Curtis Blow from
basketball, UTFO.
That's some checks right now.
Lisa and Cult Jam. Because not only I Wonder If I Take You Home, but then Can You Feel the Beat?
Can You Feel the Beat?
All Cried Out, which was the big
crossover record.
It was huge. The record company didn't want to release it because they wanted to keep Lisa just doing dance records. But we wanted to be
They called it Spanish hip hop back then, like the dance type of
freestyle,
right?
Everything like that. But we wanted All Cried Out. We went our way, and it became the record that everybody loved. Now, still to this day.
Let me ask you, Lou, what was your relationship with these groups? Did you just do the songwriting and the producing, or did you have them sign to your production company? And the reason why I ask you this is because of the type of control you had over the groups. I read somewhere that, with UTFO, there was a point when Educated Rapper got caught up in drugs.
Right.
And then you guys decided that he was going to be on timeout.
Right.
Until he got himself together. How do you have that control? Were they signed to your production company?
Exactly. Oh. And listen, growing up, we were young. So, because a lot of the production deals and stuff like that is like, we would have probably done a lot of things different if we knew. But we were young. We didn't know. But what we knew, what we wanted to do was control. We're going to have control with these acts.
Who put that in your head? Was that Steve? Or was that, where did that? Because that's how the music industry works, but where'd y'all get that from?
Well, that was us and Steve, because we're saying that we want to be able to have control. So with UTFO, we became their managers also.
Okay.
But what it is, you could easily say Steve Salem was the only manager. But with Steve, since we did it together, we split it 50-50 as far as management. So
y'all are getting all the money.
Not all the money,
but y'all are getting a lot of money.
And the songwriting still to this day, thank you Jesus. And the songwriting really did its damn thing, because for 6 people, it's crazy to keep splitting it up. But that's what we decided to do in the beginning of our career. Right. Split everything 6 ways, and with the songwriting, and production, and everything started good. Even though when we were doing Lisa Lisa, we still. During that time of doing Lisa Lisa, we still was producing a sexy white female called Samantha Fox.
Samantha Fox, right.
And we did big hits with her. Naughty Girls Need Love Too. I Want to Have Some Fun. And before you know it, we just started writing and producing for a lot of people. We even produced Houdini for the Nightmare of Elm Street soundtrack. We did 4 songs of that. And then we just started producing like a who's who of people.
Right. Now, before we get to that, Lisa and Cult Jam featuring Full Force opens up the doors for you guys to get your own deal.
Right.
what was the dynamic in the group, man? Because I mean, it's family, and you said that there was no boss, even though you was the oldest one. But like, what was the dynamic? How did it work? Like, how did arguments work? How did you guys come to decisions? Who was kind of like the leader in a sense?
Man, everybody had leader hats.
Right.
I would say Paul, myself, B Fine, even sometimes the cousins, Kurt. Everybody kind of had their chance or their time, basically. But we still worked it as a cohesive unit, and we're still together to this day.
Right.
And we'll still perform and everything like that. We're still producing this full force.
But it's six of y'all. How do y'all break a tiebreaker? Like, if there's an argument and it's 3-3, who's like, fuck that?
Majority.
If it's 3-3.
I never remember of it being 3-3, but I know a lot of times me and Paul would side a lot, know. So sometimes it used to be the four of them against us sometimes, but that's just how it is, just the different ideas. But we still had a presence to be, even though we was management and control, we still had a presence to always look out for the acts as well, and to be up in the record company's face. I mean, it was just such a great thing to be able to go on tour and say we're on tour with Lisa, and Cult Jam, and there's a promoter that's pissed off at us because Paul did a striptease act and we came on before Lisa, and he says, "Oh, we're not going to pay you the rest of your money. I told you not to take off your clothes. I told you not to take off your clothes." He said, "Oh, you're not going to pay us money?" No. So that's it. We're not going to pay. Okay, well then, Lisa, and Coach Jam's not going to go on. What? No, yes, they are going to go on. Well, we'll talk to their manager. Well, we're their manager. Oh, you're a manager? Yeah. Do you know how the record company, Columbia Records at the time, I think they used to be pissed a little bit that we had the control.
Of course they were.
Because it was 6 black men, Steve Salem with us, and we was a united front.
Right.
They used to sometimes try to do that conquer and divide stuff, talking the artist's ear, but Lisa was very loyal back then, and she used to tell us like everything. You know what I mean?
And I could
Especially
imagine
Paul Anthony.
in the eyes of those white executives, right?
White executives. Let me tell you.
They probably felt that, okay, we got everything we got out of Full Force, but now we got this pop hit and this Latina chick. Let's get rid of these Negroes.
Once she turned pop, that's when they really wanted to do the conquer and divide thing. I'll never forget, For All Cried Out, me and Paul sang in that record.
Right.
We were the male leaders. And then when it came down to do the video, we had a big meeting. And there we are, the white people and everything, the white execs. So listen, guys, so for this video, we're going to All Cried Out. So we know that you and Paul are singing the male parts and songs. So, you guys will be in the video, but how about if you guys were silhouettes? Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're like, dude, fuck y'all niggas. So we had that control.
Right.
So we said, y'all better get creative and make this happen. So me and Paul became the voices of Lisa's love interest, who was thinking what we were singing.
Right.
So he's still in the video.
Don't fucking put us as silhouettes. That's crazy, man.
It was hilarious.
Was it because of your outfits?
No, it was
because of your race?
I think they just wanted...
Jerry Curl.
No, I just think they wanted to keep
Of
it
course.
poppy. Because the love interest was a white guy.
Yes.
Lisa's a white guy.
Yeah.
They wanted to keep it like
pop
that.
all the way.
But
and because,
we didn't
still
do that.
around a time when MTV wasn't supporting us and a whole lot
Exactly.
Talk about the outfits, man. Who was your stylist back then? Y'all had some crazy outfits, man. You had pants with cards around the crotch area, man, and ripped up shirts, man, and then the fucking head ties, like
headbands. My brother Paul Anthony used the headband king.
Y'all look like Prince versus Rambo.
I know. Hilarious. You're right. We was into that eyeliner and shit like that, but nobody fucked with us.
Right.
We got all that respect no matter what, because we weren't no punks and none of shit like that. We were no pussies.
Well, did y'all have any friction on the road? Did anybody ever
kidding?
try to test y'all?
Just one brother tried to test us.
Regular cat or some cat that was on the road with y'all? I'm
gonna tell you right now. We opened up for Cameo on a tour. And when Paul, we do the striptease thing.
Yeah.
And Paul do the striptease, and the women used to go berserk because when Paul was stripped down, he'd be in a G-string, posing and just like a stripper. And what happened is that one of Larry Blackman's assistants came into our dressing room, and he said, "Hey, listen, y'all gonna have to stop doing that stripping thing."
Really?
Yeah. Y'all got
Because they were walking around with the red cod
They had
pieces.
the cod,
Right.
But after we finished doing our strip, that cod
That
didn't
cod
mean
didn't
shit
mean nothing, man.
because it was just a cod.
Don't cover your dick, man.
Yeah.
Let that shit swing.
Yeah, Paul had
Pause.
penis and balls just protruding, all of that shit.
Put this dick print on your forehead,
just for
chick.
the ladies, and they didn't like that shit. So they said, yeah,
Way before Nicki Minaj, take this dick
way
print.
before.
So anyway,
We're going to talk about Nicki Minaj.
Yes, of course,
too.
of course.
And what happened is that Larry Blackman, he said, yeah, Larry don't want y'all doing the thing. So we said, well, wait a minute, who said that? Was it Larry?
And who the fuck is y'all?
Yeah, and they said, yeah, who's that? Larry said, yeah, Larry. I said, well, can we talk to, because we love Cameo.
Right.
So, well, can we talk to Larry and let's talk this out and see what's up? And he goes,
Back.
no, Larry
And forth.
Larry doesn't talk to the opening act.
Oh shit.
And then Paul said, oh, really? Is that it? Larry don't talk to the opening act? Okay, so check this out. Tell Larry, fuck him, and let him know that tomorrow night I'm going to wear purple G-string with sparkles.
He wore bedazzled fucking.
Even though he didn't, but that's what he said he'd do.
Rhinestone.
That guy went back. They never came back to approach us, but being that we were so Brooklyn, our crew was from our neighborhood because we took our neighborhood with us on tour. And that's how a lot of them learned the ins and outs of music. One brother by the name of Rodney Shealy, we're proud of him. He's a big-time executive at Def Jam, and Steve Warren, so we're proud of him. But we told them, listen, y'all stay around them because just in case they try to sabotage us with our sound or anything
Pull the
like
plug
that.
out.
Right, and that never happened to us. And we did our thing, and they never stepped to us. But that was like the only type of friction I'd say.
Rappers wouldn't step
with
to
another act.
y'all?
Oh, nah, they gave us so
LL
much
didn't step
respect.
to y'all,
Nah.
man. I take my shirt off first.
Total respect. Total respect. Paul was before LL. He was before that. But it's total respect by all the rappers.
Right.
We could have the Jerry curls and eyeliner shit, but nobody fucked with us, man.
But how did y'all still keep the Jerry curl?
I don't know. We just kept the shit,
Kept
man.
it. It was part of the trademark.
Right. Part of trademark.
And the money was
I got
coming
tired
in.
of it. Money was coming in.
Money was
That's what
coming
made
in.
us stand out. But thank God another group came and took our title away. They did the Jerry curl to the 10th power. And that was our brothers, Ready for the World.
Ready for
Thank
the
you. Thank
World.
you.
Ready for the
They had
World.
their hair going all the way down to
were
their
they from
knees.
Houston? Where were they from?
Where was Ready for the World from? Detroit, I think.
They were
Michigan.
something- Okay.
Yeah. But good brothers, though.
So the music is coming out right now. You guys are touring. How did you guys end up in Crush Groove, the movie, the classic movie Crush Groove?
Well, what happened because of our persona?
Right.
They wanted my two brothers, to be in it. I was like so pissed because, well, why didn't you make it 3? And
Why would
they
you
just-
always get left out, man?
It was just that first movie.
Okay.
But I got my revenge afterwards.
right.
But Crush Groove, my two brothers were in it. They was only in 2 scenes.
Right.
But just because of their persona, because my brother still had the ripped shirt.
They were the guys
and
that were
everything.
shaking down Blair Underwood. Who was the fake Russell Simmons at the time.
Exactly.
Right.
And even Beat Down Run. And even though they were just in 2 short scenes, their persona, the full force persona, overshadowed a lot of stuff.
Right.
Just 2 scenes. And Crush Groove was a good movie. That's when we became great friends with Blair Underwood, still to this day.
Right.
And but after Crush Groove, even though I was a little jealous when I went to see the premiere, I still loved those were my brothers and they rocked it. You know what I mean? I gave it up. But even flashback a little bit, just to let you know. So in the full force stable of acts, we had UTFO, Real Roxanne, and Howie T. Got to give it up for Hitman Howie T.
Hitman Howie
DJ Hitman Howie T co-wrote Alice
Pioneer.
for us because he did the beat. He's the one that created that beat of Alice, I Want You Just for Me. So we want to give him
That was
his
a big
props.
record, man.
Yeah, it was a big record for us. And then after those acts, then Cheryl Pepsi Riley.
Right. And I want to
gave
get
her
to that.
another-
I want to get to that.
Okay.
I want to get to that in
Yeah.
a second. What
But
was
Crush
that?
Groove was our first movie, so that was great.
Your live show was so crazy, man. What the
Right.
fuck was the Alice sandwich?
Oh, yeah, man. That was something. Alice sandwich would be, we'd invite a young lady up on stage, and then we would
you hear about this, King?
I'm listening now.
You got to see the video of the Alice sandwich, man.
Yeah.
You can do
I'll send you
that
the
right
link
now. You
on
can do that.
YouTube.
I don't think you can do that on stage right now.
I don't know.
They arresting Akon and shit for shit like that. You can't-
Yeah, we can never do that
You
now.
can't do that now,
And
but-
people suing you
Yeah,
for
yeah.
money back then.
That
was
should
so
be on
harmless.
YouTube. But anyway,
Humping or something?
no.
No. What happened was that I would have a young lady come to me, right? I said, baby, I can't wait to kiss those juicy lips. And we would always have a female come on stage every show while we was doing Alice. I can't wait to kiss those juicy lips. And I would say, come on over here. And she would come and I would hug her.
Around her waist.
Right around her waist. I'm hugging her here. My brother Paul Anthony would come in back of her and tap her on the back. She turned around. He grabbed her over there, and he would take her hand and put it on his ass. And the place used to go crazy. And then
Double plantation.
and then what I did, since I'm back here, I went and I hugged her from the back, and then he picked both of us up. And we were the Alice sandwich in midair.
Because he was pumping up from the bottom, he was pumping up
From the back. And in
crazy.
midair, you see legs dangling, flapping, and it was out, and the place used to go nuts.
Yo, Lou. Let's get a little personal now. You were married back then.
Yes, I was married.
How old were you when you got married?
I think I was like 20.
You were
21.
This is before
when I got
shit
married.
started popping.
This is before stuff popping.
What's Nick?
Is she on the road?
What?
Did she come on the road?
No, a couple of times.
Couple of times.
You know, my ex-wife,
Right.
she's a sweetheart.
Right.
But see, back...
Did the road get in the way? Did the industry get in the way of everything?
No,
man?
because here's the deal.
I mean, you're lucky we didn't have Twitter or Instagram, because that Alice sandwich, the minute that shit hit her, right while the show was going on,
It'd
nigga,
been crazy.
You
It'd
getting
been crazy.
papers, faxed to you.
It was a lot of temptations and
Right.
stuff because it was women like everywhere.
Grabbing the dick.
But
every show.
out of everybody in the group of Full Force, me, I just always would retreat back to my room with my Bible, and I would just sit in my room by myself and just chill. Now the rest of the guys,
I don't
they
believe
went crazy.
Bible.
Let me tell you a story about my brother.
I don't believe. No, don't
let me
change
tell
the
you,
subject.
let me tell you a story about my brother Paul Anthony. Wait, listen.
You never
The Lord is my
succumb to.
shepherd.
You never succumb to.
No.
I shall not walk.
No. But here's the deal.
Or you can't say because of legalities or anything.
No. I'm being very honest. I was very innocent back then, you know, and I didn't do
And
none of that
you
stuff.
guys didn't drink or do drugs, right?
No, we didn't do any of that.
You guys were straight edges.
We were straight.
Where did
We
that come
definitely was.
from, man?
That was from our upbringing, all of our upbringing, our parents, you know what I mean? And we never knocked anybody else that did it,
Right.
you know, but it was like everybody still gave us respect. Nobody like smoked in front of us or anything like that.
So to this day, you never smoked and.
No, I mean, I tried it in college and
Okay,
stuff like
right.
that, you know, but I never
Yo,
really,
in the 80s,
I never
man, you
indulged
missed
in the
all
weeds.
that good cocaine.
Oh, man.
You missed all that good cocaine.
You used to do cocaine, man?
Who didn't
did
do
cocaine?
cocaine in the 80s? He wasn't even. Yo, I'm saying, listen.
But did you do cocaine, period,
in
Jack?
the 80s?
You did cocaine a lot?
Not a lot, but it was everywhere.
Oh, wait, I see some powder by your nose right now.
You sound like you missed that shit.
Yeah, who doesn't miss
I don't know,
cocaine
man.
from the 80s?
Dude, you
Internets, like I
There's a lot
tell
of-
you. Here's my public service announcement. Cocaine was hot in the 80s. Jack did that so you wouldn't have to go through that. Yo, you miss all that. Anyway, so you're on the road. You're doing all of this shit, man.
Well, let me tell you something about
Yes.
Paul Anthony because
Yes.
he don't care about telling this story.
Okay.
So Paul used to always have the white headband with the thing, and it always stood out. So whenever we were on the road, and there's so tons of women, not only for Full Force, but for like all the damn acts.
Right.
But Paul always wore a headband. So the next morning, if you see a young lady wearing a headband,
She got marked by the
Right.
beast.
and sometimes two, sometimes three.
She was marked by the
headband. I was
beast.
like, oh, it's fucking Paul. It's fucking Paul. And his nickname on the road was called Rabbit. That was his nickname.
damn.
My brother Paul, it was something. I mean, listen,
You're supposed to enjoy yourself, especially when you work
yeah, but
that
you
hard.
got to just be careful and stuff like that.
Were
But,
there bad incidents, man? Any chicks like, oh, I'm suing this and that? Because you know that
No.
shit was rampant too.
No, not with us. I mean, we had one young lady that was like following us like all over the place, and
Stalker-ish?
cops was trying to track her down. It's Baby Jerry, actually, a girl chasing after him from town to town and state to state.
And then white girls was probably wild.
White girls.
That's the shit that would get you in trouble.
Sloppy.
And I love my black women, but I'm not prejudiced,
Right,
you know.
listen.
And the Asians, back
Everything
then.
is warm when the lights are off.
But you know, but I just,
But
would,
you was hugging that Bible.
but I
so
just would look right.
you was hugging that Bible on the chest.
Oh man, but
So, but this interesting thing happened though, man. You had gone through some complications with your lady, with regard to trying to have a baby.
my wife at the time,
Yeah, your lady, and then you got you. It was so personal to you that you wrote a song
right,
called "Thanks for My Child." Mm-hmm. And then that became a hit. How did that become a hit?
number one smash. And I'm
remember
proud of
all
that song to this day.
The sisters in the hood used to sing this song. That was a hood rat anthem.
Yeah,
no
man.
disrespect to the women out there that sang it, but that was a hood rat anthem. Let's talk about how that blew up, man.
Well, that song was when I came back from the road and found out my wife at the time had a miscarriage. I went to the hospital, and there she was laid out on the hospital bed like she'd been through World War III. Her name is Sherry. Shout out to her because we're still friends to this day. And I have two beautiful kids by her, Lou Star, which we'll talk about a little bit too, and Lakaya. But she, as she was. We had the thing. You could hear other babies being born. You know what I mean? Being born,
which is so painful.
Yeah, and so that coupled with that, and then I had a lot of female friends, especially a friend of mine that she had a baby, and then the man like ran out on her, and so I coupled that, and I came up with the "Thanks for My Child," and I wrote it from scratch with no music. I just wrote it, and then Baby Jerry.
Which was rare for you. You would usually write to music.
We did everything.
Okay.
We did everything.
Right.
Sometimes you write things from scratch with no music. Sometimes the music would come first, but I wrote the song first, and then Baby Jerry did the music to that, the keyboards and stuff like that. Then the whole band did the playing and everything. And I gave it. Then I seeked out my friend Cheryl Pepsi Riley, who I always was in love with. She's such a dope singer, and I got her to do the song, and we got her a record deal just off of. Being that we was already established already, Sony Records,
right.
yeah, they just said, yeah, you can sign her. And I was so proud I was able to sign her. And the first record out of the block, Thanks for My Child, and it was a #1 smash. And I wrote it, and I felt so proud of it because a lot of people thought she wrote it.
This is one record you didn't have to split 6 ways.
No, we still split it 6 ways. It still says written by Full Force. Even though when the record went #1 and it says Full Force, in my mind, I'm like, damn, I wrote that by myself.
Wait, so you guys kept that
6-way split.
You guys were loyal and honored that agreement.
And still
did that ever
to this
cause
day.
any tension? Like my
afterwise,
dude, you don't write nothing.
Right.
You just tinker with the drums. I'm not calling anybody, but you don't write nothing. How you getting a sixth of this?
Well, you know why?
$1 million check.
But see, everybody in the group writes.
Right.
That's the thing.
Right.
Everybody in the group writes. Me and Kurt, we wrote I'm Real for James Brown.
Right.
Paul did Static. Baby Jerry would do the Samantha Fox songs with me. Be Fine would do the Lisa Lost in Emotion. So everybody had their turn, to write. So we said we're just going to split it 6 ways.
That's smart though, because that's the old school ethic of songwriting. It's like if you're in the studio, if you come up with like half a hook, you're getting a piece of this.
Right.
Whereas now it's so territorial. And I remember we had Chuck D on the show, man. He said back then, man, the concept was we, and now the concept is me.
Right.
Which is crazy, man.
Yeah, it was always we.
Yo.
One for all and all for one.
Which is dope, man. Let's go to a quick break. Internet, you tuned into the Combat Jack Show. We got the legendary Bowlegged Lou from Full Force in the building. Brooklyn, Crown Heights, F your radio, TV show, and podcast, combatjackshow.com. The website is kind of, in its infantile stages. Complain to Jonathan Mena, and we'll be back. Hey, yo, Internet, I want to take a pause from the Combat Jack Show to talk to you about Viceland, a new TV channel from Vice that debuts on February 29th. They're rolling out a lot of very cool programs, including a show called Weedakit, hosted by Vice correspondent Krishna Andavulu. I hope I'm saying that right. Anyway, this show explores the new weed culture that's sweeping this country. They've also got a show called Noisy, which explores music scenes across the world. I fucks with Noisy, the site, so I'll definitely be on the lookout for the show too. But the Viceland show that I'm really going to be fucking with heavy is called Fuck, That's Delicious, hosted by none other than our homeboy Action Bronson. That's right, Action has his own food show on Vice, and even better yet, it co-stars another good brother of the Combat Jack Show, Mayhem Loren, along with legendary producer Alchemist and Big Body Best. You got to understand, this is very special to me because the Combat Jack Show was the first platform ever that Action Bronson appeared on years ago. So this is pretty much a family affair for us. The show looks exactly like what an Action Bronson food show should be. Action smokes mad weed and goes out to eat with Mayhem, Alchemist, and Big Body Best at various delicious spots around the globe. Exotic places, grimy places, modern places, primitive places. Plus, they seem to ride a lot of ATVs and motorboats too. And they smoke more weed. We got to make sure Action comes back on the Combat Jack Show, Mena, so he could tell us more about this show because it looks wild. Think Anthony Bourdain if he was half Albanian and a rapper from Queens with a much slower metabolism. It's pretty much the food show that they can't put on cable TV. So be sure to fuck with That's Delicious on Viceland TV when it debuts on February 29th. I went on Vice.com, and it looks like the network is going to be carried on Dish, DTV, AT&T, and Verizon, plus a lot of other carriers. So as they say, check your local listings to find out when it's on your cable platform. And salutes to Action, Mayhem, Alchemist, and Best. Looks like they got a hit on their hands with That's Delicious. And now back to our show. Internet, you're tuned into the Combat Jack Show, combatjackshow.com. We got Bowlegged Lou in the building. We're talking about hit making. We're talking about tours. We're talking about the, just like the infant stages of the industry that we know today, man. Listen, you guys became so phenomenally known as songwriters, hit makers, producers, that at the time the industry tapped y'all to really work with like the godfather of soul, James Brown.
Yeah, man.
Talk about that, man.
I'll never forget Johnny Musso from Scotty Brothers Records.
Mm-hmm.
They called me. And
you guys grew up on James Brown.
Are you kidding? Please. Yeah, we love James Brown. Idolize him, everything, just like everybody else did, So when they called me, they said, yeah, listen, my name is Johnny Musso, and one of the guys, head of Scotty Brothers, and we would like to know if you guys would like to produce an album on The Godfather of Soul. Not produce a song, just to produce an album. Now, I'm like, who produces James Brown? But at that time, Dan Hartman produced Living in America, which was actually Mr. Brown's first crossover hit.
That was a big record.
On the whole pop side as well.
It was a Rocky soundtrack, too.
Yeah,
like
and I think
Clubber Lang's.
And I think he won a Grammy for that as well. Not was it the first? I don't know. One of the Rocky ones. Yeah.
4 Grammys.
Living in America, right. And
Rocky 4, I'm sorry.
Rocky 4, yeah, and it was a smash for him. And then afterwards, I guess they wanted him to get black, so they asked, produce James Brown. I couldn't believe my ears, really. You want to produce, and the whole album.
The concept was weird because this is when hip hop had really taken a foothold, and hip hop, you had all these cats sampling James
Brown. That was the time.
And the concept you guys had was like, let's do a James Brown album with James Brown, where we sample James Brown.
Right, exactly. And I'll never forget, that's how I met Questlove. Questlove hit me up on social media, and he just started asking questions. How did Mr. Brown feel when you guys sampled, Funky Drummer on the song and stuff like that?
How did he feel?
He felt great because it was him.
Right.
And he got writing credit and everything. So it was all good, But when they asked us to produce James Brown, I went to the guys. I said, guys, they want us to produce James Brown. I remember Shy jumping into my arms like, oh, get out of here. We couldn't believe it. So when it came time to do the album, we started hearing stories that he's a tyrant in the studio and he's mean and all of this stuff. So I said to myself, all right, let me try to get somebody that would know. And that's when I got the number of Dan Hartman. Right. May he rest in peace. Dan Hartman at the time used to have records on himself, like Instant Replay, dance records. And
big records.
And I spoke to him and I said, Mr. Hartman, Dan, James Brown, how do we approach it? Is he mean in the studio? I mean, James Brown, we're getting ready to produce the album. He said, well, first of all, don't call him James. You call him James, you call him Mr. Brown. And we always call him Mr. Brown, even to this day. May he rest in peace. He said, you call him Mr. Brown, okay? And that's how that is. And then we started hearing all kinds of stuff. He said, and another thing, if his wife is in the studio.
Look on the floor. Look
right. Don't look at her. Yeah. Don't look at her. I'll give you an example. He was in the studio one time. I wasn't even looking at her. And he just stopped the whole session. Wait a minute, Dan. Hey, Dan, you was just looking at my wife. No, Mr. Brown, I was not.
For real?
No, Mr. Brown, I wasn't looking at your wife.
He was really like that.
Yeah, you was looking at my wife, Dan. No, Mr. Brown, I wasn't looking at my wife. And then Dan Hartman told me, now, Lou, listen, I'm gay, right? Why would I be looking at his wife? And then in my mind, I'm like, oh, shit, Dan Hartman's gay? and he said, and I have nothing against gay people, but that was funny when he did that. He said, yeah, man, so be careful with that. So we just got a lot of do's and don'ts. So when it came time for us to meet him for the very first time, and the intercom said, Mr. Brown is here, we're like,
oh, shit.
Paul, go greet him. Because we were in awe, man. And Paul was even in a little awe, too, because nobody puts us in awe. But with Mr. Brown, we was in awe. And Paul was the first one, like, to kind of step to him. And Mr. Brown came with, like, double-breasted suit, ascot hat.
Clean.
Yeah, it was just to record. It was crazy. His hair, and before and after every session, he'd have a guy come and comb his coif, comb it and hook it up right before we start, and then even after, before we leave. And he was like royalty, Reverend Al Sharpton. Every time Reverend Al Sharpton would come to the studio, we knew we were going to have a long break because they would talk. And Mr. Brown, Reverend Al, one time he was wearing red shades. Hey, Reverend Al, I'm wearing red shades, but I'm seeing blue. He would always give these little little talks and stuff, because this was the time when Mr. Brown was going through the stuff like with the car chases.
Yes.
We was working with him during all of that.
PCP.
Yeah, all that. We was working with him. And that's when Eddie Murphy used to see us places. Yo, man, y'all fucked up James Brown. Full Force fucked up James Brown, and we did.
That became the rumor that you guys fucked. That was
that was not rumor.
No,
you just brought that up,
No,
Jack.
I'm saying like y'all didn't do PCP. Y'all gave it to him.
Them Full Force niggas.
No, but was he a tyrant with y'all? Was he? But he was cool.
Nah, he was not. He was cool with us. Just sometimes certain things, it would just be kind of out there. We never told the press about it because we loved him so much.
Of course.
But we was there for 2 months and we got a great album. And his last 2 top 10 records, or 2 top 10 5 records in his career, was produced by us. I'm Real went to number 2 and Static went to number 5.
Right.
And it was all good. It was all gravy, really. So
How do y'all get the House Party, man, and Kid and Play and that whole phenomenon? Because that was a big movie, man. The Hudlin Brothers.
yeah, still
Kid
to
and Play
this day.
at their hype, too hype. No
Yeah,
pun intended.
25th anniversary of House Party, still to this day.
Wow.
And it's a classic. People that wasn't born when House Party came out loved the movie. Young people, because they play it so much. Still today, I'm gonna kick your fucking ass. Like still today, it's like, who knew those would be some classic lines, or who knew it would be a classic movie? But what happened is that my brother Paul got a phone call from Robert Ford, who was co-producing us back then on the Full Force first album days, and he said, "Hey, Paul, I want you to call Reggie Hudlin because, you guys might want, could be in a movie." Now, at the time, the 3 of us used to do little plays just in our house. I used to write them.
And you were a theater major, right?
I'm a theater major,
You really wanted to act.
I loved acting.
Acting is your first love.
It's first love, even
Wow.
before music. But
Wow.
I loved them both hand in hand. But Paul was like talking to Reggie Hudlin. So what happens is that they sent us a script, and Reggie Hudlin wanted to, us to play like the 3 thugs, because he also got inspired by Crush Groove with my 2 brothers. But this time it's 3 of us, which I was happy about. But in the script, the original script, it described the bullies, 3 bullies. Says so-and-so gets accosted by 3 bullies with bowling ball muscles and jerry curls. Somebody like Full Force. So when Robert Ford read that, Robert Ford said, "Reggie, why don't you just get Full Force?
Right.
Do you know them?" "Yeah." And he called Paul. Then Paul talked to me and B. And then we met the Hudlin brothers, and we auditioned for them by doing improvisation.
Right.
Being that the 3 of us was doing it since we were little, our chemistry was the shit. You know what I mean? And
They didn't have to train 3
nah,
individuals.
man, we
separate.
rocked the audition, and we got the part right there on the spot. And when it came time for us to do readings at the table with Martin Lawrence, everybody was unknown at that time, except us and Kid and Play.
Martin
Really
Lawrence,
on the music.
yo.
Martin Lawrence, Daryl Chill Mitchell, we just love him, and Tisha Campbell, is my girl,
right.
AJ, John Witherspoon. It was like Stars was created from that movie. But what happened is that in the script, I just didn't like how our parts were. Our parts basically didn't have any personality.
Right.
It was like how my 2 brothers did Crush Groove, just thugs and bullies, and we grunt and groan, and then we get it on out of there. So I told my brothers when we was practicing one day, I said, "Guys, let's rewrite one of these. I'm gonna rewrite one of these scenes, because remember when we were younger, I used to write the plays for the 3 of us.
Right.
I said, let me rewrite one of the scenes, and like one of my brothers, nah, man, leave it well enough
Stop
alone.
fucking around.
But at the time, my brother B Fine, his character was the name Pee Wee. I said, B, I'll give you my name, Zilla. You're Zilla. I'm Pee Wee. I'm the smallest out of the bunch anyway, and let's do that. Let me write it, and I'm gonna talk like this throughout the whole movie. I'm gonna talk like this, and my brother B said, "What? Don't do that, man." I said, "No, let me try it." And what happens is that I rewrote a whole scene, and I said, "Listen, if the Hudlin brothers don't like it,
We go back to
we'll go back to the corny shit, So So I think it was the scene with the burning house, you know. I was talking about kicking some ass, not burning people up. So I wrote that, and my brothers, so we had the Hudlin brothers come to our trailer, and we said, guys, we just want to change one scene. Tell me what you think about it.
Now, directors are usually not cool with that.
At that time, no, but Reggie was too cool with that.
Right.
He wanted people to do their
Contribute
thing.
and
After we started doing our own thing, then Kid and Play started doing their own thing. They made up a part when we said, yeah, man, we would like to come out there, you know, but, you know, and we might be like pussies, but y'all are a bunch of dicks. You know, that was their creation because we was doing our shit. We were doing our thing because after when we changed the first scene and the Hudlin brothers came to our trailer and they saw us acting it out, and me talking to the voice, kick your fucking ass. I smell pussy, which is something I used to do in the studio whenever a female artist, whether it's LaToya or Samantha or Lisa would come by. I said, guys, I smell something. I smell, but I would only say it by myself.
Because you really ended up smelling it. You ended up smelling it. Lou was the smeller. That smell like Lisa.
But what happens that when the Hudlin brothers saw what we did,
right.
Warrington Hudlin said, keep it. And Reggie said, that's the shit, keep it. After that, I started looking for all of our other scenes, and I changed all of them. And my brother started changing some stuff too. And the Hudlin brothers was always open. If we did some shit that was whack, they would pull our coats. But we would, every time we'd come up with something, they would say, man, this is dope. The lunchroom scene when my brother B is punching Kid and Paul's holding Kid up, and he's punching, I'm in the back, go. No. Wait. No. That was just improv right there on the set.
Wow.
And I remember when I was doing it, everybody started cracking up. So we was having a blast. I couldn't wait to do these different scenes. And everybody was looking forward to see what shit we would come up with, you know?
The Hudlins at the time was still relatively unknown, man. Did you know that?
That was their first joint.
Did you know that movie was going to be such a big smash?
We didn't know it was going to be such a smash. And when we went to test screenings and people was cracking up, it was ridiculous. At a time, it was so crazy. Almost anywhere we went, and especially if the three of us was together, it was ridiculous. I remember going to, after Housewives was big, I remember going to Madison Square Garden. Toni Braxton was appearing, and they said, Lou, you want to introduce her? I said, yeah, let me introduce her. And I said, ladies and gentlemen, okay, we're going to introduce Toni Braxton, and you know what she's going to do? She's going to kick some fucking ass. And the whole Madison Square Garden went crazy.
That's crazy,
like,
man.
wow. Because, you know, doing that part, I told my brothers, I want to do like a catchphrase, and I think it'll catch on.
Tagline, yeah.
And I really was inspired by Joe Pesci, because Joe Pesci, when he did Lethal Weapon, he would go, okay. And I'm like, let me do some shit. And then I said, I'm going to kick your fucking ass. And it's the way I said it. And everybody, because even all the comedians like Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall and Chris Tucker, they would give me props like crazy.
For your comedic timing.
Yeah.
Arsenio Hall. Comedic perspective.
Comedic timing. Arsenio Hall sent me a card from the Arsenio Hall show, and he said, you are definitely musically talented, but you also have great comedic timing. I got that shit right in my wall.
That's
like,
crazy,
Arsenio
man.
Hall?
That's crazy.
So for all these comics, you know, deal hugely to give the props like that meant a lot. You know?
Yo, how are you not out of control, man, at this time? Are you out of control, man? Are you like, don't tell me shit, I'm a genius? Are you on your Kanye shit?
Nah.
Are you on like, yo, I'm better than fucking
Nah.
You know,
I'm
Stanley
modest, man.
Kubrick.
Stanley Kubrick.
You weren't losing your mind.
Orange.
Okay.
None of us. We're down to earth.
So House Party comes out. The 80s run through. You're in the 90s now, and then full force. Like every great empire starts losing steam.
Right.
And you're not getting these. You're not out there on these big tours anymore. How you feeling when things start slowing down?
The jobs was getting hard and scarce, and every time we'd have a meeting with black executive, just stuff wasn't rocking.
Were they the ones that were like, you guys are played out? Because you know sometimes we're very quick to say when
the phones
we're
wasn't
not,
lighting up like it used to.
They were
getting a few jobs,
right,
you know, because at one time we were just popping all over the place. Then things started slowing down like it does with everybody.
How are you dealing with that at the time?
And we're kind of like down and out.
Right.
But we never like going to commit suicide, nothing like that, because we always believe, you know, once a hit, always a threat.
Right.
And we figured it would come back around. And
how long was that dry spell, man?
let me see, 90 house party, ain't my type of hype. I'm thinking like 4 years.
4 years go by.
But we were still doing records like with Jasmine Guy, Try Me, which was a top 10 hit for her. And Jasmine. And at the time,
how that
you know,
smell?
she was a sweetheart. And she's still a sweetheart to this day.
Cherries and honey.
So
Your fucking
Mandarin
ass.
Blossom.
so
Honeysuckle and green tea.
fucking Mandarin Blossom, hilarious. But so what happens that I said, let me have a meeting with Barry Weiss
Over at
Jive Records.
Because Jive was known as this hip hop label, like KRS-One, Boogie Down Productions.
But they were doing
D-Nice.
Samantha
Tribe Called
Fox.
They started Tribe Called Quest, and then they started Too Short, of course, and they started changing up.
When I met with Barry Weiss, I said, Barry, you got any white people we could do? Because even though the black side of things, we was just doing all these black artists, which was good, and money was cool for publishing and stuff like that.
But R&B,
Everybody
you
bought
said,
cars.
was R&B changing too?
Yeah,
But
R&B
actually,
was
let me
changing.
get-
Gangster rap started coming in also.
Let me go back to a second, man. Let me go back for a second. People argue, man, that your sound, the Full Force sound at the top of the Full Force hype, was the ones that really created the New Jack swing.
Well, I'd say Havelock Nelson, who used to write for Billboard magazine, when Alice came out, he always looked at that as the first New Jack Swing record. It just wasn't called New Jack Swing. Teddy,
Teddy Riley.
he looked up to us too, and we mutually respected him as well. And still to this day, we got a great respect. So we just did that one record the way it is. But Havelock Nelson, a journalist at the time, even though when Teddy started coming out and stuff, he said, yo, man, I don't care. Alice was the first New Jack Swing record. And, back in those days, we had a song called Unselfish Lover on the album where we sampled Big Beat, Billy Squier. Because at the time, nobody sampled any of those dope hip-hop loops. Like no
breakbeats, they didn't.
Nobody
sample
did
the
breakbeats except us, because we did a song called "Let's Dance Against the Wall." We sampled Apache, and we started doing the sampling before anybody really started doing that of known shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, so Teddy wears the mantle of New Jack Swing because he took it to a whole nother level. We just did Alice and did the thing.
You made
and
it a hot line. He made it a hot song.
Right. And and he did his damn thing.
So fast forward now, man. It's like '94. You're sitting sitting with Barry Weiss, a Jive,
At Jive Records.
Black people don't want to give us no money anymore.
Right.
Can we get some white money?
Right.
And then he says to you,
and he says, "Well, you know what? I think we might have an act that you guys might be interested in.
brand new act.
Yeah, brand new act that nobody knew." He showed me a video of the Backstreet Boys,
brand new,
and the song was called "Quit Playing Games with My Heart."
Right.
They were big. They were growing big in Europe.
Right.
But nobody knew them here in the United States. And he said, listen, they're popping big in Europe. We're getting ready to do an album in the United States. And I think, show the guys that and see what you come up with.
So you guys write All I Have to Give.
What happened with that is that after I took the video to the guys to see the Backstreet Boys, I said, yo, we got to get on this album, man, and make some of this white money. That's what I'm saying. Because there's 6 of us here. It's 6 of us, and we're splitting everything 6 ways. And
shit is dry. Shit ain't sweet right now. We played out.
Yeah,
man.
now we're talking about, well, I wrote, B's like, I wonder if I take you home. Well, shit, I wrote Head to Toe.
Now y'all are fighting.
I fucking wrote Thanks for a Child. No, we're not fighting, but we make jokes about it.
There's tension right now.
Well, not really.
Ribs is touching a little bit.
No, not really. It's more tension that we couldn't come up with a hit anymore.
Right.
Like big shit. So when I took that video and showed it to them with the Backstreet Boys, Baby Jerry stood up and he said, yo, Lou, man, I got an idea that might be good for him that I was toying around with. And Jerry started singing, but my love is all I have to give. Without you, I think. And when he sung that, I remember kissing him on the cheek. I said, Jerry, that's a fucking smash.
Yo,
That was
30 million records
Can I hold
later.
something?
Listen.
Can I hold
30
something?
million records later.
albums.
30 million.
And that song was one of their biggest records because that was like a triple. That was like a triple platinum single, and then on their biggest album ever to this date, which sold over 30 million. After that, then we started doing
In sync.
with Justin Timberlake,
In sync.
Britney Spears,
30 million 30 million sold.
LFO,
Britney Spears.
all of them. And I'll never forget Funkmaster Flex on the air with Method Man. And they're like, yo, man, you know who's doing all this? Because nobody was doing the teen pop thing. Before Backstreet Boys, years before that was New Kids on the Block with Marie Starr. But after that, it was nobody. And then once the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC and Britney. And then Funkmaster Flex said, yo, man, you know who's doing all that stuff? Full Force. Now, at that time, we just
Y'all fell off.
Right. And at the time, we just finished doing House Party and all of that stuff. He said, wait, yo, Full Force doing that? Everybody started being stunned and shocked.
How them phones started lighting up again?
That we were the, are you kidding?
Them phones started lighting up again? You're like, sorry, you don't take black money anymore?
And check this
I'm sorry, black man. No, no black man. No black
and
exec.
And to split up that white money, that publishing, those publishing checks.
Oh, my God.
A whole nother thing, because it was all over the world.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And I'll never forget when we started, we were like the only black faces in Orlando, Florida, because that's when they were coming out with all the boy bands. And we was there as one of the main producers doing Backstreet Boys and NSYNC and all that, because they was under the same management.
Right.
And we were the only blacks. We was having a ball.
Who administered your
stuff.
publishing?
Who what?
Who administered your
It was
publishing?
Zamba.
Well, you had a publishing
And that's
deal?
Jive.
Wait, did you have wait, hold up. Did you have a publishing deal or an administration deal?
We had a publishing
deal.
and an administrative deal with Jive, because they gave such a nice advance.
Oh, my God.
And see, this smart.
Different tax bracket type of check?
Yes, different tax bracket.
How did your life change, man? Like, you like, yo, no more curls. No more ripped up shirts.
And this was about the time when I was just getting my divorce.
Oh, my God.
When things
Did she
started,
get that?
You
No,
sniffing all types
She
of...
didn't get that.
No, she's a sweetheart. But I took care of her regardless.
right.
She's a sweetheart, and we're still friends to this day. But
We had Patty
that-
Pie before Patty Pie.
That really changed our lives
And
in a great way.
Isn't it crazy? After the hype is when your music goes to the next level, man.
Yeah, man. And I just can't explain it. I remember one time
I know you was hugging that Bible tighter.
I remember the Backstreet
Just go through that
Boys.
divorce in that bed, sweating on that Bible tighter.
I remember the Backstreet Boys was coming out on stage, and me and Paul was out in the lobby, and everybody was getting ready for the Backstreet Boys, and the white people screaming, and Paul's like, "Yo, Lou, man, we're getting ready to come on stage," and as he leave, I'm like, we're getting ready to come on stage, but that's how shit changed. And we've never saw the fruits until working with the white groups. And it's so funny because when we would be in Florida in the house that all of them was in.
How big was that audience, man?
It was ridiculous. It was and it was all over the world. Are you kidding?
You
So
traveled the world with them.
No, not with them, but we would be invited to a lot of different shows. Sometimes they bring us out on stage, and we would just love. They'd always give us shout outs. And when we would be in the studio compound doing the white things, whenever we'd see like a black face walk in there that might look like their producer, we would huddle amongst ourselves. Yo, who the fuck is that? Who's that?
Nah,
motherfucker?
divide and conquer. Don't let that nigga buy us.
Yeah, let these
this is
niggas-
our money.
But then everybody else started getting into it. And it was all good.
What faces were you seeing, man? Timberland.
No. We saw like a lot of unknown black faces, but just the fact that we saw other black faces.
You knew that. You
fucked
knew that,
with us because we were the only blacks. We should only be the only blacks. Keep it black. You know?
Yo, that's beautiful, man.
It's crazy.
How did it feel, man? Like being part of this machine, like in this generation, or at least the generation before, giving all these white acts the black sound, man.
It felt great. And it wasn't, I wouldn't call it the black sound, but I call it the pop sound with some soul to it.
Right.
Because we still kept it like that. But it just felt, it felt great. And it felt great, meaning it felt great to have a 17-year-old Britney Spears chilling with us in Brooklyn for like a month.
In Brooklyn?
17 years on Brooklyn. We had a Brooklyn studio.
Where? Where was the studio?
It was on Lenox Road between Schenectady and East 46.
You had Britney Spears on Schenectady.
Bumberclad.
So many people came
Big up
through,
a shot.
So many people came through there from Method.
Was she turned out? Was she turned out? Like, I love all this black stuff.
Nah, but she was a sweetheart.
Right.
We celebrated her 18th birthday right there in the studio.
Let's go get a roti.
She was, we took her to get West Indian food, all of that shit, Caribbean food, and she loved it. Jerk chicken.
Utica for all the black people there.
She already had a nice ass at the young age, but
Hey,
she was a little too young to smell.
Well, 18 years old.
Hey, who smelled that?
vanilla essence.
Was you still holding that Bible because you was gonna do that divorce? Now, how was a young Justin, man?
Young Justin was good.
Justin
Justin was
Timberlake.
incredible.
Right.
He was incredible. And
Was he in Brooklyn too?
yeah, they everybody
Get
came
the
through
fuck
Brooklyn.
outta here.
Everybody came through Brooklyn. Justin,
Labor
like
Day
all
parade.
and our Brooklyn studio wasn't that big,
Right.
But they all crammed in it, and it was like a little clubhouse,
That's
you know.
crazy.
But we used to
So
have
you
Montel
recorded some of those
Jordan,
songs in Brooklyn?
Yeah, in Brooklyn too. Yep. And Justin was just incredible. He was beyond his years. I'm like, man, this guy is dope because he loved black music and he loved like Al Green, and he would do the human beatbox and all of that stuff. And we know that Justin at the time, when I knew that he wanted the black acceptance, was when we did a Vibe magazine article. And that's when it was Full Force. That's when everybody was talking about Full Force doing all these white acts.
They was back on these nuts.
Yeah, and everybody's like, oh shit, Full Force. And Jerry did a quote about Justin, said, yeah, Justin loves black music. And, you know, we come there and he's doing Brian McKnight songs and blah, 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 blah. And I'll never forget when we went back to Orlando, Florida, Justin and after the Vibe magazine article came out, just like, yo, where's Jerry at? Where's Jerry? Where's Jerry? Because he wanted to say, Jerry, thanks for saying what you said, man. Oh, thank you. Because it's the
was
black.
focused on the black.
Right, the black acceptance, because he respected black music. And he was so enthralled that Jerry talked about him in the context of loving black
Appreciating
music.
black music.
So he always appreciated it, still to this day, you know. And I mean, damn, didn't he win a Grammy or American Music Award for Best R&B Artist?
And you know what's crazy, man? Like, I was a little reluctant to accept Justin because I, you know, just the history of whites appropriating our music. And I remember when he was on Funk Master Flex, and I was like, yo, that's a little too much. But you foresaw him becoming the king of R&B pop, right?
I didn't know he was going to be king of R&B pop because remember he was still with NSYNC,
right?
So I didn't foresee it. I just
didn't know that he was going to.
I just knew he was incredible,
right?
But I didn't know his solo career was going to take off. But I knew when he was winning the Soul Train Awards and all that, and that black love. I know he was loving that shit because he respected it. He never not respected it. He never just did it just to do it like it was
never fake.
fad. This motherfucker loved Brian McKnight, Al Green. His parents grew up on Al Green because he comes from Memphis, Tennessee, and he just respected he respected the culture. He was a white boy, but he respected the culture, and he never said that he was stealing the soul.
Right.
He loves it. It's just like people said Lionel Richie was too pop and with once, twice, three times a lady because it's all music, but he just respected the culture, man. And Justin's a good dude.
That's crazy, man. Moving forward, man, there's somebody else that you tapped, man. Nicki Minaj. Like tell us about that, man.
Well, you said tap. You want to
Like tap,
clarify?
clarify, man.
He said tap. You know,
No, well, Nicki, and even before Nicki, just to throw this one in, was Selena. We worked with Selena.
Yo, talk about Selena, man.
Yo, with Selena, I'll never forget seeing a video of her at EMI Records or something like that, and I'm like, yo, who's that? And she was singing in Spanish.
How special was she?
She was dope. She was dope, and she was singing in Spanish. And the woman Nancy Brennan said, her name is Selena. She just does Tejano music, but we're gonna do some. I said, she just do Spanish music? Yeah, I don't care if we got to do shit in Spanish. Can we do that? 'Cause
We got some. You speak Spanish?
Well, my mother's from Santo Domingo. I don't speak it, and you know.
But y'all could get some. Y'all could afford at that time. Some
But we
translators.
always loved the Latino things and everything like that. But no, but at that time,
y'all
she
did
told
love
us
the Latino things.
She told us, no. But listen, we're going to do an all English speaking album. You know,
English album
for Selena,
right?
And that's when it started. So we started doing English songs, and in the middle of the album, you know, that's when she got killed.
She got killed. Right?
So we're thinking, oh, this album's nobody's gonna. I guess the album's done. No more all English. But what they decided to do is make the album half English, half Spanish. Because Selena was supposed to come back to our studio to do the background vocals in Brooklyn.
Y'all had her eating roti in Brooklyn too?
No. She was into her Spanish stuff. You know, her enchiladas and
they didn't have no Mexican food in the hood. They didn't have no Mexican food.
Nah, but
she was eating some of that Dominican food.
Yeah, exactly. But
the rice with the olives.
And she was so dope though. And the thing about it with her is that she was supposed to come back to do background vocals. So instead, we flew out to Corpus Christi, Texas, where she was from.
Right.
And we, Full Force, did background vocals to a song called Missing My Baby. And then we also did a song called Techno Cumbia. We did a remix of it. But when she passed away,
how heartbreaking was that, man?
Oh man, because at that time nobody, even though we was working with her, nobody not a lot of people heard about her before. Everybody heard about her when she, in the
Passed
United
away.
States anyway, when she passed away. But it was crazy because when we went back to Corpus Christi, Texas to do the background vocals of the song that wasn't completed, it was still fresh.
Right.
And people still had flowers there. And the crazy thing was the song was called "Missing My Baby," and I'm like, oh, I can't believe we're doing this.
Did
stuff.
you know the manager? Did you do it?
Everybody, the father, the mother, the brother, everybody was there. And
But the person that shot it, did you
oh no, never knew her.
Never knew, okay.
No, I never knew her at all. But when
You
we
know
did,
she was a shady bitch.
when we did, I know it's crazy. When we did "Missing My Baby," we could hear Selena's vocals coming through the speakers, but she's not there, and we're like, wow, could y'all believe this? And then when we finished doing what we had to do, the family came to hear it, and when they heard it, they're crying, and then when we finished, the father stood up. I'll never forget it. He stood up and he started clapping for us, and then everybody, the whole family, started clapping. That was like
That's crazy, man.
that was like great.
That's
So
crazy.
so Nicki Minaj
Nicki
situation,
Minaj, man. So your son now is in the rap game.
right? Lou Star, love, big up to Lou Star. And the thing about it is with Nicki, I remember my friend Neil Grant.
I got to interrupt you. Did you tell your son when he told you that he was interested in music? Did you encourage him, or you like? Yeah, it's
No,
great.
I encouraged him.
Right.
Yeah, because he wanted to get into rap and everything like that. And this is even before the whole Nicki thing.
Right.
So I always encouraged him. And he's very talented to this day. He's going to be on our new single coming out with, it's going to be on Sony featuring Lou Star and Santa, a female rapper. And we're going to do a video and everything. He's dope. But what happened is that Neil Grant brought me over to the studio. This guy named Boz, the studio, because he wanted me to check out this girl. She wasn't there at the time, but when I heard her voice, I'm like, yo, who the fuck is that? She said, her name's Nicki, Onika Mirage. Nicki Mirage. I said, she's dope. I knew my son at the time wanted to put together a rap group, a crew. So when I heard the voice, I said, yo, Lou, you got to hear this girl. She's crazy. So Lou heard the voice and loved it immediately. Yo, let's try to form the group together. The first time I met Nicki, she came over to our house in Brooklyn. And when I met her, she was doing her dialects even back then, talking in English and, hello, how are you doing? Because she was into acting as well.
Right.
But the first thing she did wasn't rap for me, even though I heard her rap, on the recordings. First thing she did was sing me a gospel song. And she sounded pretty good. She was good.
And you would know. You
Right,
would know.
I would know.
Right.
And she sounded pretty good, And before you know it, my son loved her, recruited her to be in the group with this other brother named 7 Up. So it was like the three of them. And
Hood Stars, right?
the Hood Stars.
And they signed to your production company.
They were signed to our production company at the time. And what happened is that I had liked Lou's best friend at the time, Safari Samuels. But I liked him with the reggae type rapping.
Right.
But the rest of the group, including Nicki, thought he was corny.
Right.
Really?
Safari was corny.
Right. Nicki, Lou Star, 7 Up, they're like, he's corny. But because it was Lou's friend, I kind of forced him on the group.
Right.
I literally forced him because I thought Safari was a great entertainer. He danced, he did his twerking shit even back then.
He was twerking back then?
Yeah. And,
Twerk up.
but I thought he was an
Twerk up,
entertainer,
Safari. Right.
a good entertainer.
And once again, you would know.
Right. So I pushed him on the group, and the rest is history. Nicki and him fell in love anyway, and the rest is history. The Hood Stars was doing a whole bunch of shit. Then we grabbed Nicki to do some solo stuff on her, and we did. I took her like everywhere. 50 Cent. I mean, even Jay-Z's label, and I took it for Ty. And Ty said, yeah, well, we just re-signed Foxy Brown.
Woo.
Jay-Z just brought Foxy Brown, and then
he gave Foxy a grip.
Yeah,
That's right before she got deaf.
Yeah, and that's why they didn't feel Nicki. And then I remember taking Nicki to Warner Brothers,
Right.
Because when we played the Hood Stars stuff, Kevin Lyles, even though he loved the Hood Stars, Kevin Lyles was the one that says, "Yo, man, who's that girl?" And then when we did solo Nicki, I brought Nicki straight to Kevin Lyles' face, and Kevin Lyles was like, "Yo, she's dope." But one of the executives, I'm not gonna mention his name, but one of the executives wanted like a ghost writer for Nicki. And he said,
Todd Moskowitz.
No, not Top Michael.
Okay.
It was a black guy.
Okay. It's always the black guys.
G. Nelson. This is true. G. Nelson wanted a ghostwriter for Nicki, and he was like, and Nicki refused.
Rightfully
Nicki
so.
said, no, I write my own rhymes, and she was so adamant about that because yes, I mean I don't know about the whole story thing now about Safari writing lyrics for Nicki, but I know back in the day with my son, because my son and 7 Up, they kind of helped Nicki with the whole writing style as well. And I never saw Safari writing no raps for Nicki back then, so I don't know how all of a sudden now, but my son, he saw that Nicki had a great talent, and he put together the whole group and of the Hood Stars when they would rock together and everything like that. But Nicki refused to have a ghostwriter, so we just never made that deal because she refused to have a ghostwriter. Right. But years later, and then after a while, we couldn't really get her deal because at the time people wasn't feeling female
It was a
rappers.
weird time, man. We're talking like
it was crazy.
Right, the mid
So
aughts.
we parted ways amicably, and what happened is that I told her, I said, Nicki, you should try doing some stuff like on MySpace and stuff like that. Do stuff on MySpace on social media thing. And I was the first one to tell her that.
Right.
And I never forget when she came back and said, I do thank you for telling me to do the thing on MySpace. And, the rest is history. And we're happy for her and everything
You
like
guys
that.
still speak, man?
Well, I haven't spoken to Nicki in a while.
Right.
But the last time I spoke to her was when she was saying about, Lou, do you guys still got that song that I did? It's called, the hell is that song? Damn, I forgot it now. But don't worry, you guys will hear it maybe soon.
Nicki's doing she's doing one of your records?
But maybe not through Nicki, but we'll see.
Okay.
But it's dope. We got so much dope, dope stuff.
Y'all got music all
raw.
over the place, man.
Yeah. So, but the thing about it is that Nicki did her thing, and we're proud of her. We're happy for her, So we don't have any bad thing to say about her or talk about her. None of that stuff.
The best part of this journey, man, is sometimes when the road takes a dark turn, and your brother Paul caught a rare case of cancer.
Right.
And can you walk us through that, man? Because up until this point, man, regardless if they had peaks and valleys and you guys dipped and ascended again, you guys never had to deal with something like that, man. Not on that level.
Yeah.
Not with the crew.
Yeah, it was crazy. I think Paul, was working out at the gym, and one of his guys is like, "Yo, Paul, what's that?" And it was like he had like a little lump under his throat, and come to find out it was a cancerous thing. And I remember going to the doctor with him, and they said, "Yeah, you have mantle cell lymphoma, a form of cancer." I'll never forget. It fucked me up. Paul, he didn't get fucked up or nothing. He just what is it called, mantle cell lymphoma? And he sat down and he went into his BlackBerry just to find what it is, to read about it. I know if that was me, I'd run, but not my brother, But once that happened, then we started going to different doctors, getting second opinion. One doctor said he only had like maybe a few months to live, and why don't you do this other treatment? And Paul's like, no, we never owned up to it. He never owned up to anything was going to happen to him. That's why when we did the first Unsung on TV1, he still had it, and it came back after that episode, but he always stayed steadfast and strong and true.
He was working out still.
Still working out, even though the doctor
not just regular work. Like I saw some of the workouts, like with doing
on the back of the door,
the bars, and
all kinds of stuff, and he just kept focused and kept thinking like a lion, and just always was positive about it. And what happened is that I remember the first time we went to try to look for a doctor. Okay, we're going to use this doctor. We're going to use that doctor. This doctor. There's one white doctor at Sloan Kettering Memorial Center,
which is top notch.
And he told us what he could do and this and that. And Paul's like, and his name was Dr. Paul Anthony Hamlin.
Wow.
And Paul said, wow, he never met another Paul Anthony in his life.
Right.
So when we had to make the decision, he looked at the doctor and he said, Doc, I want you to be my doctor. I mean, I always bet on me. I always bet on Paul Anthony. So that's what I'm going to do now.
Wow.
I'm going to bet on Paul Anthony. And he took Paul in. And at first, Paul had a transplant like within himself. They call it I forgot the name, but it was with the inside thing. Mm-hmm. Because we always knew that I was a match because we tested out, me and my brother B-Fine, tested out to see hopefully that who would be a match to Paul anyway for
In terms
down,
of like
down in
blood,
the
blood
future.
type and
Right, all of that. And I remember B saying, yeah, I think, well, Paul, yeah, I'm going to be more of a match because me and you look alike, you know, so I don't think Lou's going to match. And, you know, B didn't match for shit. It was just me. but that was so funny. But you just never know. So I was 100% match. And I was just there in his back pocket just in case. And what happened is that they didn't want to do a bone marrow transplant because it was 50% that he could die. But as the years went on, and then when Paul's cancer, the mantle cell lymphoma turned into acute leukemia.
Oh, wow.
Then he was really fighting for his life because the cancer had came back. He's fighting for his life. The doctor said, "You're fighting for your life. We're gonna have to do the transplant with Lou."
Right.
And
so
Paul,
they had to take your blood, your bone marrow.
yeah, everything. You know,
Is that painful, man?
well, not during,
Right.
but I think after the fact, I was getting crazy headaches and I was fucked up. But for
And
my
it's
brother,
not even a fraction of what he was going through.
no, because what happened is that to get ready for the transplant, because the doctors told, Paul said, so doctor, what am I supposed to do to prep for this transplant? What, eat better? And the doctor said, no, just be good to Lou. You be good to Lou and you'll be fine.
Lose your ticket.
Right. So what happens is that I'm home and I'm injecting myself twice a day with these Neupogen shots, which harvests the stem cells in your blood. And I did it for like 2 weeks, injecting myself every 2 weeks. And I had to do it. If I miss any time shit, I could potentially fuck up the whole shit.
Right.
But I would always do that while Paul's immune system was coming lower and lower and lower and lower because they had to almost get him down to nothing to be ready to receive
All of this
my
flesh.
thing.
Right. Fresh.
So when I was ready, I went into the hospital just by myself, and they, you know, put catheters in my arms, and they was spin cycling the blood to get my stem cells. Now at the time, they said Paul needed 6 million stem cells, and they didn't feel that I might be able to produce enough because of my age.
Right.
And I was only 28 years old 2 years ago. So what happened is that they said, listen, if you don't, first of all, before we even did it, they had this thing that I had to sign saying that, let you know that you going through this could bleed to death. Your spleen could rupture.
Your life
you
is at risk.
yourself. Right. So do you still want to go through with it, Mr. George? I'm like, that's a dumb question. Of course I do. I would die for my brother. I mean, who wouldn't want to do that? And the doctor's like, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised how many family members
Sorry,
backed
King.
out.
Sorry,
Yeah.
King.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking.
Crazy.
I'm joking, man.
You know?
No.
So once that happened, they said, listen, if we don't get enough stem cells for your brother, we're gonna have to take a catheter and put it through your chest
Jesus.
to bring more stem cells out. But you know, but after all was said and done, they was shocked because
You produced still.
I didn't produce 6 million. Motherfuckers, I produced 9 million.
What?
And I said, so wait a minute, so y'all gonna give 6 million to my brother and put 3 million like in the fridge or something just in case for him? No, we're giving your brother all that 9 million.
Take that.
And I was feeling myself. I said, I'm a bad motherfucker.
Damn.
I was young and virile.
9
and
million
still doing the
records,
shit.
9 million stem cells. What the fuck?
And that helped to save his life because the next day after he got all of that, and I was going up to his room, because remember he was like knocked the hell out because his immune system was just low.
Yeah.
But once he got all my shit, his back is turned, and me and the nurses are looking through the window. He's up there dancing, with his headphone. And it was a Beyonce song he told me later on. I don't know what it was, but he was rocking and tears just came to my eyes, man.
It's crazy.
You know, because I love my brothers so much. I love my brothers, just my family, and I would die for them. I just felt so happy. And to this day, you know, he's great. It was a 3-year anniversary of the transplant.
Congratulations.
And he still got to go through treatments like every week or every 2 weeks still, because you never know, a little hiccup here and there, and you got to still go. And he takes all this medication still. So once he gets to the 5-year mark, then we'll be good. Then you don't have to take all of that. So he's been doing this thing.
Man, I
man.
think you're gonna do it too, man.
Yeah, man.
Paul, man, what are y'all working on right now, man? Tell the internets where they can find you, your website, what you're working on, what we can look forward to.
Yeah, man. We're working on. Well, we have a new album called.
I'm sorry, Lou.
It's
I
all
called
good.
you Paul. We talking about Paul. Lou.
We have a new album out called Full Force with friends, with love from their friends.
Okay.
Where is on the Sony label, and we have like over 30 guest artists on there, from
who?
Sheila E. to
Wow.
Faith Evans,
Wow.
Howard Hewitt. We even have a dope spoken word
Howard
joint.
Hewitt.
We have a dope spoken word joint with Omari Hardwick, Blair Underwood, Michael Jamal Warner, and Big Daddy Kane, which is crazy. Najee's in the back playing.
Wow,
And,
Najee.
we got Regina Bell. We got UTFO.
Regina Bell.
Yeah, it's just go crazy.
That's
album.
crazy, man.
So the single coming out. It's like a 2 singles called "Your Love Makes Me High," featuring Shanice and Raphael Sadiq, and then we have this one called "Call Me When You Want It," featuring Lou Star and Santa, which we're going to do a video to. So we're excited about that, and we're working on a dope reality show, which we're excited about. I won't give out the name, but
Has it been greenlit?
it's almost there.
Oh,
You
that's
know,
hot, that's hot.
it's really hot, and Seabiz, you're in it also. Seabiz is one of the
That's hot.
people
man.
in there.
That's
We got
hot, man.
Melly Mel and it's
Old school house? Is it the
really
old
dope.
school house?
Well, it's old school versus new school,
Oh,
because you got the young upstarts like him that's part of the agency, and
Right.
he's trying to.
Is Melly Mel terrorizing
it's a
niggas in there, man? Because you know Melly's just mad.
You got
Melly's
you gotta
just
see.
mad.
It's crazy.
Yo,
And-
tell Melly I want to interview him, man.
Okay, seriously?
No, Melly was one of my first. It was Grandmaster Caz and it was Melly Mel. Like,
Okay.
who was
Love
hiring them
Melly.
niggas?
Love Melly. Yeah.
And he tight. He's tight though, right?
And he's his nickname. He calls himself Muscle Simmons.
Muscle Simmons.
Yeah.
If you follow Combat on Instagram, you notice he put up the Melly Mel had a Superman joint.
Yeah.
And you had that a couple times on your throwback.
Melly Mel is crazy, man.
Great brother, man. And in this reality show, he's telling everybody his things, his braggadocious things. You know, he's the first Rock and Roll
Amazing.
Hall
He's
of Fame, and and he's a good
one
brother,
of the
man.
first dope MCs of the game, foundation of this game.
Dope brother.
Yo, Lou, man, where can they find you? What websites?
Yeah, the website, we got fullforceworld.com and we got fullforceworld.net.
Very good.
Both those. Fullforceworld.net was actually created by a cancer champion young lady in the hospital that just loved Full Force and just gifted us with like her own website, a fan website. So fullforce.net, and it's got so much things on it. And on Facebook, all of us is on there from Bowlegged Lou, but not fucking Facebook made me change to my government name, Lou George Jr., but it still says Bowlegged Lou under there. I'm on Facebook. Paul Anthony's on Facebook. Baby Jerry, who's DJ Genius, because Jerry's also a DJ, and he spins out there in Miami, Florida. And we got Instagram, Full Force, Twitter, Full Force, and we're rocking and rolling. We're really excited. Be on the lookout for the new single, Call Me When You Want It, featuring Lou Star and Santa, which is going to be really, really, really
I'm looking
hot.
forward to that, man. Tell us about the significance of those white beads, man.
Well, the significance is I just wore them shits in the fucking 80s, and I'm still stuck with these shits. Many times I was going to cut them off, because Wendy Williams, anytime, Lou, you still with them fucking beads? Jesus Christ.
That's not an extension. That's your real hair.
Yeah, it's real hair.
Okay.
It's real hair, because
Okay.
back from the Jerry Curl days. And
You kept that strand.
right, but I still would take them off and rebraid it and wash it and all of that stuff. But
Of course.
I remember Anthony Anderson caught me out there when we was honoring him, and he's like, "Yo, man, I love Lou. I love Bowlegged Lou. Come here, Lou. Come here, man." He said, "Yo, man, does everybody want to know why is Lou still rocking the beads? For what is that? A nappy patch? What is it, Lou?" You know, Wendy Williams would go, "Lou, man, that's so 80s. Why are you still wearing it?" And it was one time I was thinking about cutting it off, but when the shit started picking up Wi-Fi, so I'm like saying, let me just keep the shit, because you never know, I might be onto something.
Last man standing during the apocalypse. Yo, Lou, man, this has been so amazing, man. Taking
man,
us
thank
through
you.
this journey, and personally, man, like following y'all from even before y'all blew up, man. This is definitely an honor. Crazy story, crazy success story, man. What I get out of it is never give up, man.
Word.
Yeah, you got to always keep pushing, no matter what, through the ups and the downs. Because even though during our beginnings, things were so rough to get a deal, not once did we think we were never going to succeed. Because we'd be in the basement talking about what videos we're going to do. Even though we had no record deal, we always stayed strong. From Steve Salem, who rest in peace, to our parents, from my father, my Uncle Cito, who took us to the Apollo Theater, my aunts who loved the music. So, we just grateful for everybody that walked
Very good.
walked our path. All of our groups from Lisa and Cheryl Pepsi Riley and UTFO and
Roxanne and
and UTFO, man, they got to have their comeuppance. There was always a thing with UTFO that they feel, and we all feel, that their album should have went gold. Roxanne should have went gold when other albums were going around us. So we're not knocking Select Records, or maybe we are, but we wanted to see records of it. So because they deserve a
big
tribute.
record. That was a
30-year anniversary.
that was
So
a foot- that was
Kango
a foot
Kid,
mark.
Dr. Ice, Mixmaster Ice, educated rapper, they deserve a big honor for that because they're dope like that. UTFO was the first rap group to have dancers within their group because they first started out as dancers for
Dancers, right.
Houdini. But they're dope. They're a dope group, man. And I wanna give
amazing
all
story,
props to
man.
them.
Thank you so much for sharing that, man.
Yo, man, I want to give another shout out to my boy C-Biz.
What's up,
because
C-Biz?
he's the one that put us on to you. Yo, man, Combat Chat
Yo,
is the
C-Biz,
shit.
what's your podcast again?
About Nothing podcast.
About Nothing podcast.
Yes, sir.
Is it on iTunes?
Yes, sir.
Is it on SoundCloud?
Yes, sir.
All right, internets. You hear that right now?
About Nothing podcast.
And what is it about?
Nothing.
There you go, internets. There you go. I want to come on your show, man.
Oh, anytime.
Definitely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, King.
Yo, this is dope, man. I feel like we could go another
did
hour
you know
right here,
all of
man.
this, man?
Nah. One thing I did learn for all the internets out there who's in the aspiring music artists, get your publishing right, man. Writers.
Or
What?
Or in this instance, get their publishing right.
Exactly. Facts.
Right, Lou?
Study
Get their
that,
publishing
man.
right.
And
Right on.
if you need a good lawyer, Combat Jack.
No, don't call me. Don't
Reggie
call me. I'm
Osei.
tired of people telling me that I jerked them in the past. I don't do that shit. Call Kenneth Montgomery. Call James McMillan. Call Nova Perry. I got a gang of lawyers in my Rolodex, man. Do not fucking call me.
Call
You will
Guthrie.
Call Guthrie.
Yeah.
Call Guthrie. What else is? Oh man, there's so many attorneys. Listen, hit me up.
Kendall
Hit me-
Minter.
Kendall Minter,
Legendary
still in the
Kendall
game.
Minter.
Louise West was my
Yes,
my mentor.
Louise West,
She
yes.
mentored me.
Yo, really?
Yeah, Louise West mentored me, man.
Wow,
there's
God
a
bless.
gang of lawyers out there. Listen, internets, you know what it is, man. Dream those dreams and then glow up and live those dreams. Because a life without dreams is black and white, and the universe flows in Technicolor and surround sound.
Kicking some fucking ass.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you, man.
so much.
Thank
That
you,
was good.
man. Thank you.
Yo, internets, be sure to check out the homeboy Action Bronson's new show, Fuck! That's delicious, on Vice's new TV network, Viceland. They got a lot of cool shit on there, including a show on weed culture that I need to check out, too, for some friends of mine. Viceland TV debuts February 29th, so be sure to check it out. This episode of the Combat Jack Show was produced by Jonathan Mena, executive produced by A. King and Chris Morrow, engineered by Samir Karan, and recorded in the Engine Room Audio Studio in downtown Manhattan. This is an official Loudspeakers Networks production.
Yo, internets, if you want that $100 iTunes or Amazon gift card, we need you to fill out this awesome survey on behalf of the Combat Jack Show. Head over to tcjssurvey.com, fill it out. You know what I mean? We need to know a few things about you and what brands you like. You know, maybe we can incorporate that into the show. And for all of that, you get a chance to win a $100 gift card. And when you're done filling out the survey, take a screenshot, tweet at us, and we're going to shout you out for the culture.
Good morning, Mr. Combat Jack. My name is Rob, a.k.a. Doc Val. I am from Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I'm an avid listener. On top of that, I am a Caucasian male. On the behalf of urban / hoodlum Caucasian males, I would like to say that we do not support Trump's actions. We do not like him. We like you. We'd like to hear more from you, sir. But once again, coming from all, better known as crackers, Huckleberry Fins, white bread, chicken shit Huckleberry Fins, and crackers, once again, we would like to say we do not condone Donald Trump. Thank you, Combat Jack, and you have a beloved day. Peace.
Hey, what's up, Combat Jack? It's your girl, Little Miss Entertainment, and I just wanted to know what's going on. When you going to have some female representation as an interviewer on the show? You got all the cultural moving forward men. What's up with the females? Holla back.